Be taken on the ride of her life astrologically.
And the culture.
I'm Matt Rogers.
And I'm Bowen Yang. We're the two guys.
Listen to Two Guys, Five Rings on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app, search Two Guys, Five Rings, and start listening.
This could be the craziest podcast pairing ever. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, and Super Bowl champ Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch are politicking.
What does politicking even mean?
It's bridging gaps.
With no politics.
Joined by their friend and agent Doug Hendrickson, it's going to be a wild ride.
We can change.
Yeah, we got about 30 seconds.
Listen to Politickin' with Gavin Newsom, Marshawn Lynch, and Doug Hendrickson on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Politickin' and start listening.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview,
WMFX Waynesville,
an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
.880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy. Heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Look, it's like we never left each other. It's like nothing has happened between the time we signed off yesterday and the time that we're here with you today. It's really like everything just went smooth sailing.
I got real wet.
And nothing.
Super wet.
It was a gully washer last night in Canton, Ohio. We are live from the Lake House here in Lake Milton, Ohio, coming to you from the Pro Football Hall of Fame festivities. Last night was it was an adventure, Jeremy.
By the time we got back in the truck last night, Tank looked like a poodle that had been put in the window to dry after they were shampooed.
I wasn't a happy camper at all, having to walk in the rain. But yeah, last night, kickoff of the NFL preseason. We got to see some action. We got to see some NFL firsts that we'll talk about here on the program today. We are on the road with the Livin' the Dream tour. Thanks to our good friends.
I can say there was a chauffeur. It was the first time that I have literally been soaked to my underoos in Ohio.
Yes,
so there's that.
Yes, there is that. We are on the road with our good friends at Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Parks Ford, Hendersonville, Dale's Pale Ale, and Clarissa Sells, WNC.com. Everybody chipping in to help the dream come true. Check off the bucket list item. That is obviously the tenor of everybody that goes to these things. We talked to a lot of fans last night in the stands at Tom Benson Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium, which I do think it's a little weird that they spell that out in the end zone. It just kind of looks weird. Like you just need a logo or something. I don't know.
No,
anyway.
It's fine. I don't know why it's fine for this one specifically, but it is fine for this one specifically.
Right. Hey, he put up $11 million to make that thing happen, right?
Is that why his name is on there?
Yes. That was like 2014, I think it was, that Tom Benson gave $11 million to build out the stadium, to make it a big thing, to obviously upgrade the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which we have not seen the inside of. Well, that's not true. We have seen inside the lobby of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Thank you, StubHub, for that.
Yep.
You'll find out a lot more about that on a fireside chat.
Yeah, because we don't want to. I can't tell that story without saying so many bad words.
But for all of the faults that we had technologically yesterday, starting with yesterday's program. Hopefully the microphones sound a little bit better to you today. We figured out some things.
Sounds exactly the same to me, but it sounded good to me yesterday. So.
Hopefully on the radio side of this, it's coming off better than it did yesterday. We understand there was some echo going on. Anyway, we had that technical issue. Then we had the technical issue with the tickets, and then of course we had the technical issues with the rain that shut down the game in the third quarter last night. Bears ended up beating the Houston Texans in the preseason game. but it was just it was a comedy of errors. And on top of all of that, the town of Canton, Ohio, has probably the best streets I've ever seen. I mean, wouldn't you say that they're so well maintained?
Well, I will say this. Roads are a lot like people. I don't expect much of you. Don't do meth, and maybe have a tangible line on the road that I can see to determine where the lane actually is.
It gets really exciting when it's in the rain. Everybody's got their lights on, and the lights just glisten off the pavement, and there are no lines to tell you where to drive that big old truck that you owe somebody a whole lot of money for if you'd wreck it. So last night was a little harrowing coming back to Lake Milton.
Well, I mean, the beauty of being in a truck the size of the Parks Ford Mobile Studio is that, I can just drive right down the middle of this lane and nobody wants to falafel with me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. So the guy that was flicking his high beams at me, sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
The rain kicked up. You had to slow down, and I didn't. So, bye.
We are all safe and sound, though. Everybody, there were no injuries from anything last night. The rain actually felt really good because it was super hot when we got there.
Oh, it is. I don't understand how we went 600 miles north and it got, 25 degrees hotter.
It did feel about 100 degrees in that stadium at sunset yesterday. And
there was at least one injury.
Was there?
Oh, yeah. There was a girl that I saw. That was in the second mezzanine. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many beers she consumed, but they ran out of souvenir cups, and I'm going to say she had a roll with it.
Yeah.
Because she had 6 in her hand. They were 24 ounces apiece. She was not a big woman. And the last thing I heard her say was, Patrick Willis is the greatest linebacker that ever lived. And I went, Ray Lewis, no. This is Reggie Wade and Randy Moss all over again. I don't want to. I've already played this game once.
Don't we on her parade. This is her day, right? Her guy was there. I got a great picture of Patrick Willis out signing autographs with fans and such. It's really cool. It's really an intimate environment here.
I do recommend that anybody that's a real football fan.
Yes.
You need to, A, make the pilgrimage. B, learn from our mistakes, which we will detail on a fireside chat very, very soon.
Right.
I feel like everybody should see this. There were a couple guys sitting beside us last night. It was a guy and his son. The son was about my age, maybe a little bit older than me. Mm. The dad had just retired out of the Navy. I think it was out of the Navy. He told me this, and I'm not going to lie. Once it started raining, my brain just kind of went Control-Alt-Delete. How do I get back to that truck, which is a long way away from here, without looking like a drowned rat?
Yes.
But this was like a bucket list thing for them. They had flown here one from California, one from Oregon. They were doing the whole week together, and I thought that was awesome. And they had the best disposition about them. That this was a trip we had always talked about doing, and now that Dad's retired, we made it happen. The coolest part of that story, and I don't think you heard this, was the son looked at me and said, yeah, Dad called me and said, we're doing this. There was no, I have to work. Oh, my wife's going to be angry. No, it was, listen here. Yeah. I gave birth to you, and you will do as I say. Yes. And I went, awesome.
Yes, that gives me hope for the future. Of course, though, if Dad does call and say, I want to take you on a trip to Ohio, then I guess you got to say yes. Well, I ignored him for 7 years when I was in college, so I feel like I kind of owe him one. Plus, I get to go see the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Oh, you ignored through college? Mine was, hey, you know that card I have? They don't have any money left on it. And that's a bad thing. I need to eat at least every other day.
You're getting that phone call all the time.
Yeah. Maybe 14.
Yeah. Hey, it's good to have great supportive parents, isn't it?
Bingo.
And it is really, something to see. But I was I don't know what I was expecting, right? I've never been here. I've never seen it. But being in that stadium and the way that it's laid out, and it's all just kind of open, and everything is, first off, all of the people that I have met have been so nice. Like, everybody that lives in this community, all of the people that worked at the stadium, right? Maybe not in the concession stand. I didn't deal with those people, but like coming through security, they were all great, helping us, trying to figure out where we're supposed to go, where we're supposed to be. And everywhere else I went, everywhere else I walked, it was just so open and friendly faces.
Is this your first time in the Midwest?
It is my first. Well, no, I mean, other than Indiana.
Okay. That's
and Detroit.
And there, no.
But I didn't. You never heard me talk about the nice people in Detroit.
Oh no, we did.
We?
Oh yeah, we talked about that a lot.
Remember.
Detroit was awesome. No, there's basically any place that voted for a squad member. That's not the Midwest. They have been removed from the Midwest. So take them out. That's nope. You don't count because the Midwest is. This is as hospitable of a place as you will ever see.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. It is. It's just super cool. Everybody's kind of laid back. And like I said, it was so open, like Patrick Willis, and they were having some kind of banquet inside the Hall of Fame, which is right next to the back side of the stadium, or the front side of the stadium. Anyway, it's right. The concourse of the stadium runs in between the Hall of Fame and the stands. And they were having some event in there, and Patrick Willis just comes out the door, and there was a crowd of about 15 of us gathered around, and everybody was cool. Nobody was rushing him. You know, he was like, "Come on over, take pictures." It was really cool. Hung around for a little while to see if Julius was going to step out of the doorway, but the rain began, and everybody scattered, and they shut down the game, and all was fine. Anyway. I would highly recommend this. Hopefully it doesn't rain on you when you do come. But it was pretty fun. And then there comes the fact that we got to see an NFL first.
The first kickoff.
The first kickoff under the new rules. And it was the weirdest thing on the planet. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've seen it on television. I've seen the XFL do it, or the USFL, or whoever. It was just strange to see those uniforms out there lining up 5 yards away from each other.
Seeing it in person
strange.
Because what you don't realize when you see it on television, the UFL or anything like that, you don't realize how lonesome the kicker and the kick returner are.
Yes.
The kicker almost has no clue of what do I do? It's also funny to watch. There will be, if they actually enforce this, there will be 8 offsides on kickoffs a week. It was comical to watch these things because they don't know where the ball is. So the ball goes over their head. They can't move until it touches the returner's hands. So they're looking up. It's bizarre. And it looks really bizarre. On our social medias later today, we'll have a picture of what it looks like from up top. I haven't gotten to that picture yet. I've really laid on the rain picture. Those new cameras are they do rain things quite nicely. I have a picture of, there's a sign in Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium that says, "This is football heaven." I told some Bears fans standing beside me, I got the picture and I showed it to him and I said, "Look, it's football heaven. It's raining like hell. Let's go."
That's it. It feels like it needs to be a T-shirt for that experience last night. Pro Football Hall of Fame game is in the books. We'll talk more about the new kickoff. I think it's going to be really interesting. I really do, and I really think we got a chance to see some explosive things this year in the NFL due to the new kickoff rules. So we'll continue to discuss that and more about the Pro Football Hall of Fame weekend here on ESPN Asheville. It is the Livin' the Dream Tour on the road with Ingles Supermarkets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, and Clarissa Sells WNC.com. We'll be right back.
Pain from arthritis is awful.
Other than
and pain. It robs you of so much of the stuff you love to do. But there are effective ways to deal with that pain, and I'm not talking about drugs or surgery. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. And the place to go? QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. If you're living or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC can to treat the pain, enhance your joints.
I appreciate that.
Give you long-term relief.
I get the finger.
Professionals at QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative, restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. This is the future of medicine. Call for a free consultation now in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Raid wants to know, what would you do if you could confidently face every day knowing you and your loved ones are protected? Would you sing along to your favorite song at the top of your lungs? Turn off the GPS and let your heart do the guiding. Go to the drive-thru and order one of everything. Feel the buzz of confidence of knowing you are protected with 65 years of insect science in your hands. Raid. Protection for everyone.
iHeartRadio is live from Paris.
The Paris Olympics underway.
With NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. 24 hours a day, you can listen to live coverage of swimming, basketball, volleyball, gymnastics, and all your favorite sports. Plus, Team USA exclusive coverage from Paris. Bring the summer games with you. From your phone to your car, on your Alexa, or wherever you listen. Open the free iHeart app now and enable push notifications for live updates from Paris. iHeartRadio, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Sometimes it's the little victories that mean the most. At Ingalls, we know there's no one you'd rather share those miniature memorable moments with than family. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Do better, be better.
All right, about 30 seconds.
This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
The Sportsocracy.
Just living the dream. I love that. You know what? I will have some meatloaf. Let's have some meatloaf.
You want some?
Yes. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
I'm on apologetic.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, the Living the Dream Tour, live from the Lake House in Lake Milton, Ohio. Hall of Fame game last night set a first in the NFL, where we had the first new kickoff rule in effect. And it's weird when you see the opening kickoff happen and the two teams run out and they line up. The one team lines up on the 35, the other one lines up on the 40, and the returner's back at the goal line. And then, you remember that song, The Lonesome Kicker by Adam Sandler?
Of course I do. It's the only time a kicker's been relevant in my entire life.
Exactly. The Lonesome Kicker.
Pat McAfee, but he was a punter.
Cairo Santos, he just out there on his lonesome. Back at the original point where his team used to line up. Obviously, with the new rules, they're trying to cut down on the high-speed collisions. And what I was interested to see was the different strategies that the teams used. Like, I noticed on one of the plays, it was kind of a hold your ground, wait for them to come to you, let's receive the block. The other one was, let's kind of run backwards. Everybody turned around, turned their backs to the defense, ran back 5 yards, and then turned around and gave them the little cushion. And there were a couple of windows. I just noticed, like, at some point, these guys are going to figure this out, and those windows are going to become pretty apparent, and probably there's a pattern to it, and I think we're going to have a lot of kickoffs returned.
That was I had two takeaways watching it last night in the Hall of Fame game. The first one was exactly what you just said. There are going to be kickoff returns for a touchdown. That no doubt in my mind.
I do think it's very interesting that I looked at you at one point in the game and said over under 9.5 touchdowns returned. And then I heard Dan Patrick say that to his crowd this morning. I was like, oh, great minds think alike. But I think I think that might be low. I think we could see one of these
low, for sure.
Like I really feel like we could see 12 or 13 of these.
Oh, I think you're still low.
Really?
I think you could see it. When you said 9.5 last night, I was still the anger was still in my head, so I didn't really have the opportunity to respond in a direct way. You might see 9.5 in the first month.
Ooh.
And that leads me to the second thing I was going to say. The biggest loser of this is the fringe kick returner. That, I mean, you're good. You're good at this, but you're not great. You're not the Pro Bowl type return guy. Because you mark my words that I said this, it might not happen week 1, but when we get into playoff time and the real crunch time of weeks 14 through 18, you're going to see star players back there. I'm just telling you, it's going to happen. You get a team like the team that I couldn't stop thinking about was Miami. You get Miami, they give up a touchdown. Say where they're playing Kansas City. They're down 7. We've got 2:30 to go. I'll be stunned if Tyreek Hill's not. Stunned. Because I'm not sure how you defend somebody in that formation that's that fast. Because they're going to get a full 5 to 7 yard head start before you can even move. And I see some of these Brant Boyer came to my mind. I could see some different ways that you set up that wall, and you've got this, you've laid this out to where I'm going to get to the edge, and then it's a foot race. And I don't think these guys are. The NFL does a great job of when they have a problem, they fix it. Kickoffs have been a problem. I think you have fixed the problem. The only problem is that now you've created a new problem. You could see this. Remember when the NBA put in the new ball? And they didn't, it was beautiful and aesthetically it felt really good, but they never tested it with somebody that was sweating. And so when sweat hit the ball, it turned into greased up bird poo and you couldn't hold on to it.
Right.
I started thinking last night, you may have accidentally. Because in the UFL, excuse me, you don't have Tyreek. You don't have guys that are running 4.2s. And I just kept thinking about guys like John Ross. If John Ross could figure out, and he's not as fast as he, if he could figure out how to return kicks, he'd have a spot in the slot. Because you're going to hit that corner so fast that there are only maybe 4 guys on that kickoff team that could actually get to you. The others are going to have to bail water to try to stop you on the backside. And just from a schematic standpoint, this could be a bit of an excrement show to start off. I'm just going to call my shot right now. Week 1, we'll see 4 or more
touchdowns.
Book it. Remember that I said that.
Okay, I will.
It was so clunky. And now look, last night I might be getting swayed by the fact this is the first preseason game. These guys have been in camp for a week and a half. They haven't really had a lot of time to work on this. The Bears specifically looked absolutely clueless on how to defend it. It worked out fine because the return guy was just running into there was basically a scrum on every kickoff. And so you'd have 10 guys in a big pile, and then there would just be a few on the outliers. The return guy was just running into that pile. I guarantee you there were 32 NFL coordinators last night, special teams coordinators, that watched that and went, why are you not running to the outside? You're one of the fastest guys on the team. You have linemen, linebackers, up corners, different things like that. And this is a foot race. We've basically put you in a 100-yard dash, and I don't think they're going to beat you consistently.
Yep. Field vision is going to be very important, obviously, to the success of anybody who's doing this. And that's the more and more I think about it, the more and more I think, you know what? Pittsburgh didn't do it bad. When they had the relationship with Arthur Smith, obviously coming in as the new offensive coordinator, and the relationship that he had with Cordero Patterson, and they called him immediately. Yeah, you did that right. Because nobody's done it better than him as far as kickoff returns go.
And I vehemently disagree with you.
Really?
Because the reason he was so good at it is because it was basically like playing Frogger. You had to be really good at sifting your way through traffic. Cordero Patterson's not as straight line fast. He was one of the primary guys that I'm sitting here going, well, it was fun while it lasted, because this is not advantageous to you at all.
So you think this is only going to be successful if you can beat them to the edge?
I think that's the Damian Pierces of the world.
Right.
I don't see how I really don't. Mm-hmm. And Kelvin Joyner, he beat me to the punch on this. You could probably run a pin and pull sweep out of this pretty well. I agree. That was what I was thinking, is if you do this correctly, you can basically make if you don't kick a ball straight down the middle, you're a moron. Mm-hmm. Just watching this from up high, which I saw 2 of these from as high up in the stadium as you can go. If you kick this ball to either side, you cut your return guys in half. The kickoff coverage team, 5 of those guys are completely irrelevant to this, because there is no shot they're going to ellipse half the field in the time it takes that return guy to get up there.
Yeah.
So, you're just going to have to boom it straight down the field and then try your best to use your outside guys. You're going to need burners on the outside that can seal the edge to keep that from getting to the outside. It's the strategy of this is going to be really intriguing, and I'm telling you, there are going to be teams that are awful at this.
Mm-hmm. But there are also going to be some teams that are going to be awesome at this.
Kansas City.
And I think it's going to end up getting some special teams coaches paid.
I wouldn't be shocked if you're right.
Right.
Kansas, I'm just
going to go find the guy who figures out how to do this the most, and I'm just going to add him to my team for whatever it costs.
Andy Reid was the one that I was sitting here thinking, man, how many guys does he have on that team that can just absolutely fly? And how easy would it be to hide one of those guys on the outside of your return team and basically just run a full pull reverse of the return guy goes right, that one guy ducks out, there's a lateral, and now I got an 80-yard foot race, and there is nobody in front of me.
Yep.
And I'm sure somebody's sitting here thinking, man, you're getting real Frankenstein-y with this. I guarantee you, there are coordinators in the league that are drawing these things on whiteboards right now.
No doubt.
Just
Always.
I saw seeing this at full speed with NFL players. I saw the error in it. And now, before they close this loophole, I'm going to take advantage of it.
The Miami Dolphins, I think, are better suited than anybody to be able to do this, right? But you'd have to use your position players. And that's one of the more interesting things about this is, do you start using the position players? Do you start using Tyreek Hill? Do you start using Raheem Mostert? Do you start using Devin Achane? Right? Nobody's faster, I don't think, in the league than the weapons that Miami has at their disposal. If their special teams coordinator can figure this thing out, they will be hell on wheels.
The other one that I specifically was thinking about last night was Aeneas Smith in Philadelphia.
Yes.
You mark my words. You get little 5'8", probably closer to 5'6", Aeneas Smith back there, and it's all it is I have to outrun you. That we could look back on that and go, they drafted Dante Hall, and we let them do it.
Yes.
We let him keep going. It was, for me, it was the most interesting part of the on-field. Because I'm sorry, Brett Rippon and the Terran just didn't really do it for me.
No.
I've seen that against the actual NFL players, and I know how bad that was because it was for my team.
Right. Davis Mills throwing touchdowns to Colin Johnson, our good friend from the draft. What was that, 3 years ago? Well, Colin Johnson, when the printer broke, printed about 800 draft profiles just of Colin Johnson.
Yeah, that's not that one.
Still stuck in my head. Was it not?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. You got the last name right, but the kid you're talking about went to South Dakota State. It was a total bust,
okay.
and I can't remember his first name. I'll figure it out in the break.
I think it started with a C. Anyway.
Cade Johnson?
Cade Johnson. Maybe it was Cade Johnson.
Yeah, it wasn't Colin, I can tell you that.
Okay. Anyhow. What congratulations. The second stringers and the third stringers for the Chicago Bears beat out the second stringers and the third stringers from the Houston Texans, 21-17 in a almost three-quarter game. They got rained out last night at the Hall of Fame game. Yes, the best thing to come out of that, other than being in close proximity with guys like Patrick Willis, the best thing to come out of that was seeing the first of the NFL kickoff rules, and it is going to make a huge difference. I'm interested. I'm going to put you on this. I want you to see if you can find me a prop, an actual prop for kickoff returns for a touchdown this year in the NFL. So I'd be interested to see what that number is, and if it's anywhere under 10, could make you some money. That's all I'm saying. Because I think the over is a great possibility. More sights and sounds from the road here in the Sportsocracy. Coming up after the break, we're live from the Lake House, Lake Milton, Ohio. We were at the Hall of Fame game last night. The plan for after today's show is going to be heading up to Cleveland to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I'm hoping that I won't have to kill Jeremy for the blasphemy that's about to come out of his mouth.
Oh, I already know so I did the virtual tour this morning before I got up. There is something that I'm going to have to, before we even walk in the door. I am angry at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay, why?
For their blasphemy. I'll tell you what it is.
Okay, you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen temporal scan.
All right, clear.
ESPN Asheville.
We have to hit a shower thunderstorm this afternoon through this evening. Yeah, right in time for your Friday evening plans, but I think a few storms.
You usually do a bit more of a preamble with Ingalls.
And then tonight you'll drop into the mid-60s. Chance of showers and thunderstorms early. Bit of fog early on Saturday, and then a slight chance of showers early in the afternoon, a few showers.
Yeah, I got it pretty decently.
Sunday, some isolated storms to widely scattered storms in the afternoon, 85. For the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stijic.
This report is sponsored by
And we hitting outside news?
New job? Express Employment Professionals helps tens of thousands of people find jobs every year and never charges a fee. Find your next job with Express Employment. Go to expresspros.com to find your location. That's expresspros.com. It's Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance. Save up to 60% on a wide selection of quality mattresses at every price. Plus, score a free adjustable base with a qualifying purchase. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm today.
iHeartRadio Olympics update.
U.S. women's basketball team 2-0 in Paris, putting away Belgium, clinching a spot in the quarterfinals. Brianna Stewart led all scorers with 26, including one from downtown.
Gray, LIVIN, Stewart in transition for three.
Run is over for the U.S. men's soccer team. They lost 4-0 to Morocco in the quarterfinals and are eliminated.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
Here's a tip from iHeartRadio Earth on how to save money and water this summer.
One broken or missing piece in your in-ground sprinkler system can waste as much as 1,000 gallons of water per week. This summer, check for missing or broken sprinkler heads. Aim them away from driveways and sidewalks, and keep an eye out for puddles when it's dry, as they might indicate a leak. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or Clarissa Sells WNC.
All right, 30 seconds.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dales available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though, we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. And, Jeremy, I'm really sick and tired of people who share misinformation on the interwebs.
Where are you headed with this thing?
It really irks me. I don't like it.
Would you say it grinds your gears?
I would say it grinds my gears as as someone who has a little bit of a background in news and such, as a former news reporter.
Wait, isn't that what you do now?
No. I do not. I do more commentary stuff now, and that's fine. I can give my opinion on things and such. Everybody can give your opinion on something. If you have strong opinions on things, you like to share them with people. I don't stop you from doing that. Everybody's got the right to do that. However, I want you to base your opinions in fact. And surrounding the Olympics, there has been so much misinformation that's been thrown out about certain things. I'm not highlighting. I don't do what you just do your research. Make sure that you're speaking from a place of fact before you give your opinion on things, or before you get me excited about really cool stories. There's another debunked story, another debunked narrative from the Olympics. The Turkish shooter. Have you seen anything about this guy?
Oh, you mean Hitman 47 that just showed up? He had no glasses. He had no nothing. He just went, if he dies, he dies.
The Turkish shooter, Yusuf Dikic, I think is how you say his name. I don't know.
That's a dude whose house there should have to be a sign on his door that says, you break in this house, you have officially FAFO'd.
Yeah. This guy shows up and competes in the 10-meter air pistol mixed team competition. He won a silver medal, but he has a very unique style. If you watch the shooting competitions these days, everybody's got like souped up gadgets and stuff and like little blinders on one eye, and they're like, really like focusing on the technical aspects of how I can make this happen. This dude shows up, hand in one pocket. He's got a 1918 pistol, and he just hitting dead center targets, just blind with no technological advancements at all. Says it's all due to his unique style of training, and he did make a statement about he took up shooting and he just wanted to have something else to do, and he just wanted to see his kids. And then the wheel of madness began on the internet, and everybody starts like, oh, look at this Turkish shooter. He took up shooting as a revenge for a bad relationship that he just had to start learning how to shoot when he was done wrong by a woman. It's a cool story, and it would have been very fun. But it's a cool story anyway. You don't have to make up stuff to make these stories better, I guess is my point. To me, that's a good enough story, rather than having to make up falsehoods about it. So, look, that's one of the calmer ones, obviously. There have been others out there on the interwebs. Just do your research before you get into stupid arguments. You look ridiculous when you start going down the path of my falsehood is fact.
Apparently, in this segment on the YouTube stream, we have turned into the Robot Jeremy and Demon Tank.
Oh, dear.
I don't know why that would happen. Sorry.
Interesting.
My story is about Major League Baseball. And I'm actually going to say something nice about Major League Baseball.
Wow.
Pains me, but I'm going to have to.
Okay.
We have talked ad nauseum over the years about different things that drive us crazy in sport. The NBA draft hat.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one on my list. A solid number two would be set scheduling for your championship series. The NBA does this. If you have two gentlemen sweeps in the conference finals, you will go 9 days without a game for the finals. That is stupid.
Yes.
I've never really addressed it with baseball because, in large part, I don't care. Now they've gone flex scheduling. It only took 100+ years for you to figure out, hey, maybe we shouldn't just sit at home for a week and a half. Maybe, if we have the two teams that are going to be playing in our World Series, we should just go ahead and play it. So now, and this is the example that I personally got. If the CS series end on October 19th, as opposed to waiting until October 27th, which is how it would have happened before this passed, now we start on the 2nd. Finish for Halloween. You see how that makes way better sense? You have no days off through the entire season. And then in the World Series, you have 2 days between games and then.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's discretion like a big. But it's also a point of contention for baseball purists who say this is not how we play the game. This is not how the game is supposed to be played. It's supposed to be played every day. It adds a little bit of different strategy when you have so many off days in between, and there's a rhythm to baseball as well. It's just, you need to have the same momentum in your playoffs as you have in the regular season. If you play back-to-backs, why would you stop doing that in the playoffs? It's just, baseball's a very rhythm sport. You start taking too many days off, and then you have no momentum from day to day. We have a super chat in the YouTube comments from Sir Jimothy. He says, the car show, the VFW last weekend, had over 80 vehicles and got $2,434. So that is awesome. Congratulations. Hopefully everybody who had a chance got out to see that. Always supporting the VFW. So good job there, everybody. Man. All right, so are we back on the YouTube? Is my voice better now?
It's still Robot Jeremy Demon
Do I
Tank.
I still sound like Johnny Five from Short Circuit?
The best I can tell, it's a YouTube problem.
All right, yeah. Well, Thomas hasn't come down in my ear, so I'm guessing everything on the radio side.
You sound fine on my end.
All right, we're all good on the radio.
There it is.
And away.
And in the YouTube
go.
chat, it says sounds fine now.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
I guess, whoever was sitting on the keyboard at YouTube, they went, hey, maybe I should take that out of my keister and let this work.
It is football heaven up here in Ohio, though, I could tell you that. At the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which We did not go into the Hall of Fame, the exhibits and such. We're going to be doing that on Saturday.
Yeah,
or tomorrow, I guess.
Well, and can I something that really grinds my gears?
Sure, go for a head. Go for a head. Nice.
So I get it. I get it that Enshrinement Week is different for the Pro Football Hall of Fame than it is anywhere any other week of the year. So you got 51 weeks, then you have this week that's different. I understand that. And I really respect that you put the rules for Enshrinement Week on your website. Here's what I don't understand. Why did you put those rules on another page that I have to click on to see? Because I bought us tickets to go through the museum. We did this this trip as fans. Just exactly everything we have done. There is nothing here that you could not do as fans, and we did that on purpose because we thought it would be a cool kickoff to the tour of, hey, next year, if you watch this and you enjoy it, you can do the exact same thing. You have to. So when you buy tickets for this week, it's a specific day. Do you know when I found that out? Well, they sent me the damn tickets. I pulled them up on my phone yesterday and went, well, today's not Saturday.
Nope.
So
nope. Today's not Saturday at all.
Not much I can do with
that. Us not doing that after the show yesterday led to the highlight, or what was the highlight of the day, which was me finally beating Jeremy at College Football 25. Thank you. That's all I wanted.
Well,
just one of them.
Now, are you going to give the prefaces of that?
Well, I mean, yes, you were sitting way far away from the television. Yes, you're colorblind, and yes, there was a giant glare on your screen. But other than that, I could see fine, and I won. I beat you. Stop your excuses. Play better next time.
Well,
when there's a glare on the television,
I did play better the next
away.
time when I beat you 66-17
You did.
in the next game.
You did. I'm just saying, I did get a win, and I feel like that's a win for all of us.
And the
just
preface,
if I can take a little teeny chunk out of that ego. Okay.
And the other preface was that you played with the best team in the game, and I played with Oregon, who apparently EA thinks has one player, and his name is Evan.
Yes, Georgia beat Oregon in the Sportsocracy Bowl Series. College Football 25. We're down to the Final Four, so look forward to the next episode. Who knows when that will be? Of us playing College Football 25 against each other, and Georgia's still alive. I'm down to the Final Four. I still got one team alive. I'm considering that a win, going from my novice level against Mr. All Madden over here.
Well, the goal would be to do it tonight after we come back from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We do have to pay off with a fireside chat before we leave.
Yeah, that is true.
Ohio.
That is very true.
We couldn't do it last night because by the time we got back here, it was 1:45.
It was awful.
Because we sat in the mezzanine like, hey, I know that I got to a point where I wanted to walk up to a cop and go, I know they won't be resuming this game. We work in the media, and I've been here before. Could you possibly bring that golf cart right there and take us to the buses so I don't have a deluge running down the backside of me?
Well, I just wanted to I will throw this out for anybody who is considering making this trip. If you've ever been to Bristol Motor Speedway, it kind of reminded me of that because so at Bristol, unless you have a parking pass, you can't park close to the place. And otherwise, you're paying $40 to park in somebody's yard. That's exactly how the Pro Football Hall of Fame was this weekend. Well, like yesterday when we went. There's no parking next to the stadium unless you pay $50 to park in somebody's yard or driveway or whatever. We ended up in one guy's driveway that was
nice guy.
Packed with cars. And he was like, yeah, you shouldn't have turned down this road. How are we going to get this big truck out of here? So he helped us turn around and find where we needed to go. But you got to park at the fairgrounds and take the shuttle over. And the shuttle drops you off 6 blocks away from the stadium. So when it was raining, we had to walk through the rain 6 blocks to the pickup place. Thankfully, there wasn't
camera equipment that I was having to, hide it because you can't take the bag in.
Right.
That is, I will say, as a guy that's been a media member for
if
a
I
long
remember
time,
correctly, though, the camera rode in my hip pocket or in my cargo pocket.
Well, it did.
So, I was just saying you didn't care.
No, I carried it through the building.
Yes, you
underneath my shirt for a good bit of it.
Yes, you did. Anyway,
not being able to take a bag in as media members, you forget. Oh yeah, that part of this really sucks.
Yeah,
just something terrible.
So you had to walk through the rain to the bus stop, ride the bus. Oh, it was what, a mile and a half? It was not like a short little boop, 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 here you go. And it was a ways away to get to the fairgrounds to get back to your car. And then, of course, you had to walk through the muddy parking lot a long way to get to your car at the fairgrounds. So, yeah, we were and then by the time we got back here driving through the blinding rain, it was midnight. Just not great. By
the time we got back
God
here,
did not do any favors for the Pro Football Hall of Fame game last night. That is for sure.
By the time we got back here, I had 4 Dale's Pale Ales and went to bed.
Yeah.
Like I'm over big awake today. I'm wet. I'm tired.
It was indeed. Anyhow, yes, after the show today, the plan is to head up to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, check that stuff out. The Living the Dream Tour. Just want to thank again Ingles Supermarkets and Parks Ford Hendersonville providing the mobile studio up here. Parks Ford Hendersonville mobile studio is packed up with some Dale's Pale Ale as well, chipping in, helping us make this trip a little bit brighter for some folks. And Clarissa sells WNC.com. Always a great partner. Has been since the very start of this program. And we appreciate her partnership.
She's the show G. Ingles and Clarissa are the
show Gs.
They're the show Gs of sponsors of this.
The originals.
This particular program.
I like it. Absolutely. Michael Meadows says a win is a win, Tank. Absolutely. A win is a win. I will not let Jeremy take that away from me. I have beaten him at a video game, and I consider that a success.
Yeah, how'd the next one go when the sun went down?
It did not go great. Okay, yes, the final score of that game was like 65-21 or
66
something.
66 to 17.
Something like that. It was something like that.
No, it was that. It's exactly what it was.
I don't remember.
I do.
Yeah, do you know?
Because I knew exactly how this little, I finally beat him. Mm-hmm.
I did. And then when you made me play with Colorado, it didn't go my way.
No.
But I did do pretty well with Georgia. So.
Is it bad that I feel like EA put an 87 overall on Colorado and made them a 77?
Yeah,
we did this to shut you up, and now play with them.
Yeah,
because this is what Shador gets to deal with.
Oh, I feel like Shador Sanders is a 99 speed on the game or on the screen, but they actually dialed him back to like 82 because he's not really, Lamar Jackson-y.
No,
and I figured like this game of all, it would be like that Madden that came out 3 years ago. There's the one with Mahomes on the cover where if you just played as the Baltimore Ravens, you beat everybody 70-0 because no one could catch up with Lamar Jackson. Once you hit the edge, he was gone. It was like Bo Jackson in the original Tecmo Bowl. And I figured that kind of be what Shador was like on this game, but he's really not.
Yeah,
you know who he is? I found out the other day? Jalen Milroe. Try stopping that guy in college football 25. That is hard to do.
Seen me do it.
Well, I'm sure.
In the college football playoff with Florida State.
Yeah, excellent.
In my dynasty.
Excellent. Good for you. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville Pro Football Hall of Fame. It is going to be fantastic at the enshrinement ceremonies. Oh, I love the countdown to enshrinement week on the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I just noticed it's gone to negatives. It's now -1 days and -16 hours.
Sweet.
Since Hall of Fame week started. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, the countdown went to the Hall of Fame game last night.
Yeah, usually you just cut that off. But anyway, the enshrinement coming up tomorrow. 7 guys going in. We talked a lot yesterday about Hall of Fame futures and who's going to be in, who's going to be out. We've talked a lot about quarterbacks yesterday. We'll talk about some other positions today in the following hours here. Lots of Steve Mongo McMichael jerseys last night. It was really cool to see all the Bears fans come out, and every one of them had the same thought, the same reaction. What in the hell took so long? What changed in the last few years?
I heard that a lot.
That Steve Mongo McMichael is not in the Hall of Fame already. It is vastly overdue. We will get that moment on Saturday at the enshrinement. Julius Peppers is in town getting his gold jacket. Patrick Willis, who we saw last night at the Hall of Fame game. Devin Hester, Randy Gradishar, Dwight Freeney. It is really a great class of Hall of Famers, and we'll continue the discussion of this week's action here on the road with the Livin' the Dream Tour with Ingles Supermarkets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, and Clarissa Sells, WBNC.com, coming up in the next hour here on ESPN Asheville.
If you're listening to this Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance ad, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance.
You're clear?
Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong and that someday you won't be listening to the radio anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a For a free quote, call 888-532-5016. Then, when you stop, if you stop listening to the radio, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses, or any
You think regular Mountain Dew is better?
questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab, too. For a free, personalized quote, call 888-532-5016.
Fucking wrong.
You like my corny dad jokes, then you need to go
No.
Meryl at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. I sat down with her the other day and she had me laughing. And y'all, that is the environment that they create at Asheville Smiles. You're going to feel relaxed. It's like a family when you go there. They want to make
That is a wild statement.
procedure, whatever process you have to have done. With general family dentistry, as well as Invisalign orthodontics with free Invisalign consultations. Also, they do Botox, fillers, sleep apnea screenings, which are also free. Read more online at AshevilleSmiles.com.
A new federal rule means now through August 31st is the last chance for people that don't get tax credit
I like Voltage.
insurance,
Voltage might be my number one.
health insurance through the marketplace, work, or a healthcare ministry. I'm talking to you. Hummingbird Insurance is offering free consultations, no strings attached. We've worked with them for years. Get the
That one sucked.
yourself. Hummingbird Insurance.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals
That one was pretty good. I felt a little weird drinking the white liquid, though.
Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org.
Whiteout, I think, right?
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery.
I told you. I know.
Free
I will agree with you. I think Voltage might be better than Baja.
Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one.
It tastes like blue.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
At the head of shower thunderstorm this afternoon through this evening. Yeah, right in time for your Friday evening plans. But I think a few storms out there widely scattered around. Close to 90 degrees. Of course, if you get rain, you'll cool it off. And then tonight, you'll drop into the mid-60s. Chance of showers and thunderstorms early. A fog early on Saturday, and then a slight chance of showers early in the afternoon, a few showers, thunderstorms. Temperatures do come down to about 85. Sunday, some isolated storms to widely scattered storms in the afternoon, 85. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it.
Allow me to introduce myself. Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the things that just will never come out.
Going down in the rinse change.
Every now and then I rinse it out.
Oh, yeah? That would be sick.
It delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
Downy Rinse and Refresh.
Say some honky shit.
Just one wash. Guaranteed.
First news on 570.
The U.S. Olympic women's
new
outfits, rather skimpy.
I swear if you start... I swear you better not, like, change up your outfit or something, come in with cornrows in your hair.
That might be dangerous.
I'd be more worried about the hurdles.
Ow.
Not a lot of clearance there.
Weekday mornings at 6 on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most. Attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day. But when we're driving, cooking, and working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview.
All right, we're back right after the ID.
Of audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat. Thoughts from the road as we are live at the Lake House, Lake Milton, Ohio, with the Livin' the Dream tour, thanks to Ingalls Markets.
The people in our YouTube chat, they got to hear your Baja Blast slander through the talkback in the break.
Yeah.
But your take on Baja Blast is, I mean, of all the stupid things you say, and it's more than you want. That is unequivocally to me top 3
of the dumbest things I've ever said.
Yeah.
That Baja Blast is not the best flavor of Mountain Dew.
It's without a doubt. To me, Baja Blast is the only reason Mountain Dew actually still exists, is because we need Mountain Dew to make Baja Blast.
Not the case.
I don't like Mountain Dew at all,
which is weird.
It's too sweet. As soon as I quit, it doesn't matter. As soon as I quit smoking, it's out.
Okay.
Seacrest out.
I mean, I agree with you. Ever since I lost all the weight, I can't drink full bore sodas like that anymore. And that might be one of the reasons that I don't really like Baja Blast all that much, is because there's not like a zero version, and
Yes,
it's
there is.
super
It's
sweet.
on its way here right now.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I
got
maybe
3
that's
of
it.
them.
I don't know. It's to me, I'm not really a fan of the flavor. There is the original Mountain Dew, and then there's the Whiteout Mountain Dew that they used to have, as we were talking about that in the break with Thomas back at the station. That was my favorite. I was super mad that they got rid of that. The Whiteout was awesome. The Voltage is good. Code Red and then Baja. So Baja's like now my 5.
Code Red, to me, without a doubt, the most overrated Mountain Dew flavor of all time. And you didn't even mention the 2.
What is that?
And the 2 was the 2 it was the one until the Baja Blast showed up, and that was the pitch black. And until they bring that back, I will protest everything.
The pitch black.
Oh, it was grape. Oh my!
Didn't they have they had a watermelon one too that was not terrible.
I mean, Mountain Dew's been around for like 50,000 years. So
Yeah.
at this point, they've done everything. At least one.
Major Melon, I think was the name of it. That was a couple of summers ago.
That
was pretty good. Yeah,
That's
it.
That's 3.
I'm not trying to diss Mountain Dew by any stretch. If you think Baja Blast is the best, then awesome. It's just not. It's not for me. And number one in the soda game, Mountain Dew.
I haven't had a Mountain Dew, the yellow Mountain Dew.
Long time.
Other than a sip, I probably haven't had one in 5 years.
Wow. Okay. All right. We are live again. Lake Milton, Ohio Hall of Fame game last night. It was a bit of a washout. Did have a lot of fun, though. Met a lot of new fans. Not of us, of new football fans.
Well, they could be
hopefully they're fans of us now. But we met a lot of football fans last night. Obviously, the stadium was crowded with a whole bunch of Texans fans. Not as many, I guess, as I thought I would see. With it being, Andre Johnson going into the Hall of Fame and all of that. Tons of Chicago Bear fans everywhere. And then Cleveland, of course, had a great contingency. All of those Pittsburgh Steeler-hating fans out there. Your wife sent me some very funny responses to the shirt. One of the Browns fans had a Pittsburgh Sucks shirt on, and I took a picture of it, sent it to your wife, sent it to my wife, because they're both Steelers fans. My wife responded with, well, he's just jealous because they suck, which I thought was, she even said that Cleveland sucks, and I gave her credit for knowing that was a Cleveland Browns shirt because it didn't have the logo on it. And then your wife sent back some shirts that told me to do things to myself, and I was like, I was just relaying the message. I felt kind of attacked.
So proud of that woman.
I was like, you're so mean for Jeremy Greene. It's not even funny. She was kind of mean. Anyway, it's a lot of fun here in Ohio. Getting ready to, after the show, we'll take the trip over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, see true musical greatness, and listen to Jeremy poo all over it. I will try not to let him ruin the experience for me. And then tomorrow, the enshrinement, as we will see 7 new guys go into the Hall. And yesterday, we spent a lot of time talking about quarterbacks. What quarterbacks belong in the Hall of Fame, who's going to be a big debate, who is a current debate, who are current guys that are in line to make the Hall of Fame. Obviously, it takes years and years to build a Hall of Fame resume. Sometimes it's hard to see greatness when it happens.
I just saw greatness.
What is that?
Adam Black just actually did an exorcism of your microphone in the YouTube chat, and it worked. He said, "May the power of Christ compel you, YouTube." And as soon as he said that, your audio worked. It fixed it.
What is happening with the YouTube stream today?
The only thing I can think is that we had the audible microphones for the radio. This won't be a problem moving forward because Tank and I will both have mics like the one that I have. This is the one out of Mullet Manor. I think they're conflicting with each other in the board. It doesn't matter on the radio side because the radio can do its
digitizing somehow going into the computer. I got you. All right.
We
apologize for that. Out of our control. We have Adam though, and so Adam, you continue to sprinkle the holy water on the computer. Not in the computer, but just kind of somewhere near the side of it. Keep saying their prayers, eating your vitamins. Be a true American.
Official pastor of the Sportsocracy.
And we thank you for your spiritual guidance through this episode of the Sportsocracy.
No doubt. And that leads me to say one of my favorite phrases that I don't get to say as often as I would like to. What up, Rev?
Seeing Julius Peppers go into the Hall of Fame is going to be really special because that was the guy that I grew up with. He was at Carolina when I was in school and looked up to him. Jeremy has looked up to him in more ways than I have. Is watched him soar over his head in a basketball camp one time.
Sure did. Dunked on my little 9-year-old head. Like, oh, you think you're a baller? Hey, watch this.
One of the greatest of all time, obviously, as he's going into the Hall of Fame. But I was looking at the other finalists from this year. Just going back to kind of reiterating a little snippet of our discussion yesterday, when you were saying, realize how hard this is going to be for everybody who is coming in, because you're adding new players every year, clearly. Everybody who retired 5 years ago, they now become eligible. And the stack up of talent is unreal. When we had what was that? Was that the COVID year or the year after COVID where we had like 2 classes at once? They pushed in a bunch of guys all together. I think maybe Rondé was a part of it, or no, Rondé was last year. Maybe Troy was a part of that. I don't know. I look at Antonio Gates and Rodney Harrison, Torrey Holt, who's been a finalist, it feels like, for 15 years. Fred Taylor, Reggie Wayne, Darren Woodson, Eric Allen, and you've got the linemen who deserve to go in immediately, in my opinion. Jari Evans and Willie Anderson, especially. Willie won, Jari to me too. You got to put them in quick. And Jared Allen. Those were the guys that didn't get in this year that will be carrying over to next year.
Okay. So is there anybody on that list that you feel like is guaranteed to make it next year? And just understand, before you answer this, I'm setting you up.
I would say Antonio Gates has to be. I mean, in many of our minds, he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. Okay. I was shocked that he wasn't on this class. Of course, I was shocked last year when Jared Allen wasn't on that class, and he's still waiting.
So Antonio Gates is the one that you move forward to next year.
Yes.
Okay. You tell me where I'm wrong. First ballot guys next year. Luke Kuechly is a guarantee.
Yes.
Adam Vinatieri is a guarantee.
Yes.
Eli Manning is a guarantee.
Yes.
Terrell Suggs is a guarantee.
Yes.
There we go. Everybody else, well, let's look to 2026. Oh, but wait. First-time eligibles in 2026. When I hit one that's not a first ballot guy, you let me know.
Yep.
Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten, Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
Julian Edelman.
No. I wouldn't say first ballot for
Okay.
Julian.
I wouldn't say first ballot on Jason Witten either because Antonio Gates didn't make it. So I cannot fathom that Jason Witten would get in.
Yeah.
So basically what that means is in 25, you've got one spot. Oh, I didn't even say Joe Staley, and he's first time on the ballot next year, and he should get in on it.
No doubt.
He won't, but he should. So you carry that one forward.
You didn't even mention Earl Thomas either. And
I think Earl Thomas is one of those.
Rodney has to wait for
Rodney Harrison's on
true.
year 9.
That is true.
If Earl Thomas gets in ahead of Rodney Harrison, we're going to need to talk to somebody. All right, so that gets you through 26.
Yeah.
We've actively had 3 spots in 2 years. 27. You said you thought Adrian Peterson was a lock first ballot guy.
Sure.
I don't agree with you.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be stunned. Richard Sherman comes up at
first ballot.
Ben Roethlisberger comes up
first ballot.
Rob Gronkowski comes up.
He's the top of the class. You should have said him first.
Antonio Brown comes up at 27. I understand he's a crazy person. I get it. He was best receiver in the league 4 years.
Yeah, it won't happen.
It won't happen because of who he is.
It'll be a long time. That'll be one that we'll debate for a long time, I have a feeling.
I don't know that it'll ever happen.
And that's what I'm saying.
The crazier and crazier he goes with his ESPN thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's
he's created himself. He's making himself a pariah day by day. It doesn't get worse. He never allows himself to disappear, right? And that's what needs to happen. He doesn't care about his legacy, so I don't care about his legacy. He'll never get a vote from me if I was ever a part of this, and I'm not that important.
There's 3 that are already on in the queue for 2028.
Yep, And they're all first ballots.
Tom Brady.
Yep.
A.J. Watt.
Yep.
A.J. Green.
Yep.
A.J. Green's not.
Yep.
He's not. Straight up. A.J. Green may never.
Yeah, you're probably right.
If Reggie Wayne can't get in, A.J.
I'm interested to see.
Trouble.
I still have the handy Hall of Fame monitor pulled up here. I'm just curious where they have A.J. Green.
Have you ever looked at the list of guys that got in on the first ballot? I mean, we say all these guys are guaranteed. Oh, and no doubt they're going to get in.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at the list? I mean,
of what?
First ballot guys.
I don't think I've ever looked at one specifically.
It's insane. It's the best of the best of the best, and there is no miss.
Sure.
In order. Julius Peppers, Joe Thomas, Darrell Revis, Charles Woodson, Peyton Manning, Calvin Johnson, Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Tony Gonzalez. That's the last 10. Name me the guy there that's not top 6 all-time at his position.
Yep.
And that was pushing down Joe Thomas, and I don't think I should have. Going back from that, Champ Bailey, Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Randy Moss, LaDainian Tomlinson, Jason Taylor, Brett Favre, Junior Seau, Walter Jones, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, Larry Allen, Jonathan Ogden, Deion Sanders, Marshall. That's since 2010. There's no miss there. There's no, I don't know.
You're
Patrick
right.
Willis didn't get it on the first.
You're right. The more I think about it, like it will be an absolute crime if in 4 years we're still sitting here debating whether or not Torrey Holt gets into the Hall of Fame and they put A.J. Green in. That's not happening.
That's kind of the point.
Okay, I get you. When I thought about it, it made more sense. Shocker of shockers, Tank letting his fandom do his talking again. Georgia wide receiver, former Georgia wide, A.J. Green. And Pro Football Hall of Fame monitor, it backs up everything. Like, yeah, I mean, the guy's got 8 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. But what else did he have? Never won anything. Never won a championship. He was never an All-Pro. That's shocking to me. And not one season throughout that great run of the start of his career did he ever make an All-Pro team.
Do you realize who he was competing with?
I do. It just shocks me that it didn't happen.
Oh,
and he didn't make 7 Pro Bowls, but
by the way, your 8 straight years, 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
You know who else did that? Torrey Holt. And the worst year, he was just south of 1,200. Torrey Holt had 1,189 yards receiving or more every year from 2000 to 2007.
Yes.
And he can't get in, and he's not really been all that close.
Yeah.
It's what I said yesterday. This is why you keep the mystique of the Pro Football Hall of Fame while everything else dwindles and dwindles. I honestly think this gets better every year. Because now, and maybe it's my bias because I'm 37 years old.
Of course it is.
These are guys that I grew up. Like I grew up with watching Julius Peppers.
Right. See, the Hall of Fame had I'm not going to say it had no interest, but it didn't have as much interest because we didn't see the guys that were going into the Hall of Fame years ago. We've seen all of these guys, stem to stern, rookie to greatness. And that's, to me, that's why it means more. Torrey Holt was phenomenal, and it's an absolute crime that he's not in the Hall of Fame. He's number 1 on my list. Probably.
Well, we're going to draft those in the next hour.
Oh, are we?
We each get 6 of
Okay.
guys that we can put in
Okay, I like
immediately.
that. I like that idea. Daily draft, brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale, coming up at the top of the next hour, the 2 o'clock hour, as we'll do that. We'll build our Hall of Fame classes. And I guess I just made my first pick.
Yeah. Hey.
I mean, I'm serious. I think, because to me now it's Torrey Holt is the guy. That he's now the benchmark of now we've got to push to get him in, much like we had the last few years with so many people getting behind Drew Pearson, right? Finally, Drew Pearson gets the call from the Veterans Committee. It's that kind of thing. we now have to rally around the cause to get Torrey Holt pushed through. I don't care if he's going to be the 7th best guy in the class next year. You have to do what's right. You have to enshrine him. I found a list from last year that was the best guys who are not in the Hall of Fame. 6 of the top 7 or 6 of the top 10, are all going in this year. Left over, Torrey Holt, Ken Anderson at 3, which I felt like was a little high, but I can get there. Reggie Wayne, Sterling Sharp, Roger Craig. That's the top 5 of those left over from this, from not getting in this year's class. And I don't feel like much has changed other than Antonio Gates jumps to 2.
Where did you say you got that list from?
This is a CBS list from last year that was, from last year. That was, these are the guys that are left. And like I said, 5 of their top 10 are all going in this year with Dwight Freeney and Steve McMichael and Patrick Willis. Their number 1 last year was Andre Johnson. And I feel like Antonio Gates may take that mantle of, I'm the new guy on the list that probably deserves to be a guarantee next year. But Torrey Holt continues to just live in that world at the top of that list. And I know it's heartbreaking for him. And I don't know how long the NFL or the Pro Football Hall of Fame is going to let this injustice continue. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We're live on the road from the Lake House in Lake Milton, Ohio, with Ingles Supermarkets, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, Dale's Pale Ale, and Clarissa Sells, WNC.com, supporting the Livin' the Dream Tour. We'll be right back.
In 1944, Dodson Pest Control was founded.
All right, clear.
Full range of services to area families. The same goal still guides the company today, 80 years later.
Hello, this is Bonnie Dodson. My father, along with his brother, founded our company, and they offered a full range of services to area families. No matter what type of pest, Dad always wanted to help. We continue that level of commitment today.
Dodson Pest Control, 80 years of experience. Visit DodsonBROS.com.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially.
No, I'm not hearing anything weird.
To know babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
I think
Brought
the
to you by
problem
Autism
we
Speaks
have
and the Ad Council.
is that we have
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
The issue we had yesterday was me,
to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated.
Yeah. What? I hear you.
You can hear him.
We have a simple management fee based on the value.
Yeah, you sound a little further away from the mic, maybe.
Better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to
yeah, it seems pretty good.
Estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher.
Basically the same.
Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Right.
Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Right.
Investing in securities involves the
We'll
risk
see
of
if that
loss.
works for the YouTube side. I think I figured out what the problem is. I don't know how to fix it, but
Sometimes
that's the
little
only
victories
idea I've
mean
got.
the
But
most. At Ingles, we know there's no one to share those miniature memorable moments with than family. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dales available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dales salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Ford Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out
A little less than 30 seconds.
on Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Ain't no truth on the radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
You just got to keep living, man. LIVIN.
I'm on
It is ESPN Asheville. The Livin' the Dream Tour is on the road in Ohio. Hall of Fame festivities here, coming to you live from the Lake House in Lake Milton. Ingles Supermarkets, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, Dale's Pale Ale, Clarissa Sells, WNC.com. All helping us hit the road here, bring you as close to the action as we can.
And look, this is the preseason for us too. Havoc said that in the YouTube chat of, hey, anything that goes wrong, better it happens in the Livin' the Dream Tour preseason as opposed to the regular.
Yeah,
and that's exactly right. We add one element basically for each one of these trips because we want to make sure if something breaks, well, it worked before we added this, and now it doesn't work. So that's what needs to be replaced.
And it's a trial and error thing, and that's what the preseason is for, is to be able to figure out what you do well, figure out what you need to work on, and have fun while you're doing it, really.
And you never know. We may,
football heaven.
Now that we have the Parks Ford mobile studio, we might just hook all this up in there and do the show from there from now on. I'll just come pick Tank up at 10 o'clock. We'll ride around. We're just doing the show from like Patton Avenue.
You cuss way too much driving for that to occur.
Oh, you know why? I'll tell you why. Because I fully believe, I grew up in the mountains of North Carolina, and I learned to drive. And I think at least 70% of people learned how to drive as they were hitting the head with a hammer, and they don't know how to do it. If the speed limit's 65 and we're doing 65, the only reason that you should ever hit your brake is because either someone cut you off or a deer ran out in front of you. If there's no deer and there's no car, why are you hitting the brake? Okay, that brake is there to slow down for events, not just because, I'm going 66. It's a 65.
That's right. You got to slow it down. You don't want to get caught in the speed trap.
Put it in D. It stands for go.
And if you want to tap your brake and you want to, manage your speed, govern your speed on the road, get over in the right hand lane.
Shout out to John Caparulo for that joke. One of the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
This year it's Julius Peppers. Next year it's Luke Kuechly. I have to wait a long time for Carolina Panther fans to see another Hall of Fame induction, but this is at least a sweet spot.
Well, and that's I feel like now the Hall of Fame is getting into there are just certain positions where it almost doesn't matter how fantastic. Calvin Johnson got in on the first ballot.
Right.
Andre Johnson did. Outside of Randy Moss, he was the best receiver in the NFL for years. He didn't get the notoriety because he played for the Texans, and the Texans weren't very good. But he was phenomenal.
Those of us who play fantasy football remember. You didn't have Andre Johnson and won championships with him. You lost championships to whoever had Andre Johnson.
I want to play another fun game with you.
Okay.
Patrick Willis, who we're going to see inducted on tomorrow.
Yes.
Do you know how long he's been on the ballot?
5 years?
This is the sixth.
Six.
This is the sixth. His first year on the ballot, he didn't even make it to the semis. He didn't even make it to the semifinals. In the 2000 year, where we blew everything up, we let 15, or what was it? How many guys got in? We had all the senior guys. The senior committee had 20 nominees. And we had, what? A bajillion finalists. That was the first time he made it to the semis. And he was in the 60s. And now we're here to the point of he's actually getting inducted.
Yeah.
So I have some of these guys that I look at and go, oh, that you're Hines Ward. Hines Ward is the one that I always come back to and just go, I don't think your day's ever. You might get in as a senior, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't. I'm just saying that I don't think it will.
I think it will eventually.
How?
It'll through the Veterans Committee. At some point, we'll probably get there. Because,
all right, I have to say this just because you keep doing this.
Yep.
You put way too much stock in the Veterans Committee. Do you know how many guys get nominated to that every year?
How many?
3.
Okay.
So you're telling me he's going to be the top of at what point? I think that's the part that you're not comprehending when I say this is, okay, if we've got 7 guys that we keep saying, well, they're going to go to the senior committee. We're doing that every year.
Yes.
So you don't have we let in 15 guys. They've done that once. And I don't think they're doing it again. So, I mean, if you're adding 7 guys and letting in 3, I mean, I'm no math magician here, but that's a -4 deficit every single year.
Right.
And I just feel like Hines Ward's at the bottom of that list every single time. It took Mongo McMichael this long.
I get it. Guys sit in this process for way too long sometimes. Patrick Willis is an example of that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he was so good that to me, he should have been in consideration first year. He should have been a finalist.
I thought he would
first
be.
Year.
I thought he would be a first ballot Hall of Fame.
I didn't because of the length of the career. That mattered more. It seems like that means less and less now that it's becoming more popular, right? Like Barry Sanders and Patrick Willis are the two poster children, and T. Barber for like cutting a career short too soon.
TQ was not too soon. You could have stopped at the 2 lines.
At the what?
You could have stopped at the 2 lines. Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders. End of message. We didn't need to throw Tiki in.
What do you?
Tiki didn't end his career too early.
Yeah, he did. He was only there 10 years.
He was a running back.
Yeah. He could have played more.
No, he couldn't have. You just keep going. I don't think you remember how bad that last year was, where I think he fumbled 17 times.
Maybe I'm missing that. I just remember that's another one that was blindsiding to me. You're calling it quits early. Luke Kuechly has done the same thing.
Luke Kuechly applies there.
Yes, absolutely. And I thought Patrick Willis would be considered like that, but I feel like that matters less and less every year as more and more guys make the decision to cut their careers short to protect their own health.
Oh, I know why you're saying that. I see now why you're saying that about Tiki. Because he had his 2 best years in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Also fun.
And, some people have that.
Good Lord, he fumbled away. He had 53 fumbles.
And yeah, and I think that's what it was. What did he have his final year?
Rushing?
Yeah.
1,600 yards.
1,600 yards and
he had
probably
1,800 the year before that and 1,500 the year before that.
And probably 10 touchdowns somewhere in that area?
No, touchdowns was never. No. He only had 55 touchdowns in his entire career.
That's kind of surprising.
He averaged 5.5 a year because he played for 10 years.
All right,
Or
but
no,
I'm saying,
no. I actually got that wrong.
You have a 1,600-yard year, and then you go, I'm done with this game. I got other things to do. I got my mind on television and all of that. I just remember that making waves at the time. But now you have so many guys that are doing that. I've done enough, and now it's kind of boiled down to the window of greatness.
Yeah, Tiki had a 4-year window, and I had to double check this just to make sure I had it right.
Okay,
he had a 4-year window where he lost 35 fumbles.
Yikes!
Lost.
That's a bunch.
He actually put it on the ground 57 times in 4 years.
That's
That's
Jones.
absurd.
That's Daniel Jones territory.
It's worse than that.
That's crazy.
Because he was a running back. So the number of times he actually got hit was higher. Oof. Yeah, Tiki Barber's one of those guys. Okay, you had...
I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying he's an example of a guy who ended his career too soon. And I do think.
I'm going to keep my
Veterans
opinion. And now that I'm looking at that, I remember now why I was saying that, and I'm going to keep my opinion to myself. Just say, there's something super suspicious to me about a guy that he was, I'll say, okay until he hit 28, and all of a sudden he just became Zeus, God of Thunder. Yeah, that happens a lot. I mean, it happened to me. I hit 37, and I don't scream when I pee, and my knees feel great. That makes plenty of sense.
So what you're saying is, or what you're not saying here,
I'm not saying anything.
Is that there might have been something going
I'm
on.
insinuating it heavily.
Yes, you are, but you're not saying it.
But to protect myself legally, I'm not actually saying.
I always love Hall of Fame time because we get to have these discussions and think back on how good our heroes were, essentially. Guys like Tiki Barber and A.J. Greene and guys that you felt like at the time were incredible, once-in-a-lifetime kind of guys. I mean, A.J. Greene started out, he was the first guy in his career to start out with 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Yes.
It was the first time that had ever happened. And then he had another good year that broke the streak. And then he had another 1,000 yards the next season. And after that, he just stayed hurt. And he never really was a thing after that. And I think it's because of Mike Evans and his current streak of 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons that, I don't know, I think maybe that accomplishment gets a little diminished as more guys break the records, right? Those records fall by the wayside. But at the time, that was unheard of.
I feel like Mike Evans, and you're not going to be unbiased about this.
I can't be. No.
I feel like Mike Evans is going to be the one where you finally understand what it is I'm saying. I think Mike Evans is a special wide receiver. I also don't see a path that we ever have this weekend and him be involved. I don't see the path. I could name 10 receivers off the top of my head that had statistical seasons in the ballpark, right there with him in a way different time. And I don't, that's the one to me. As I was sitting here going, who's going to make him understand what it is I'm trying to say? That was the one. Because I know how special he is to you. And I'm not saying he's not a Hall of Fame talent. That's not the point. The point is that the Pro Football Hall of Fame basically made this very, very clear many years ago. If you were special, Calvin Johnson was special. Statistically, he doesn't match up to Mike Evans. He didn't play as long.
No.
He played on bad teams. It doesn't matter. You could watch Calvin Johnson and just go, if he ain't the best to ever do it, he's in a very short conversation.
All right.
Mike Evans doesn't fall into that. And I'll be honest with you, Adrian Peterson was the other one I almost said. Because you mentioned him yesterday.
Yeah.
You mix in the personal issues with him to how bad the end was. I don't know that he ever gets here. Because you compare him to Fred Taylor, there's not a huge difference. And Fred's never even sniffed being. He was never the best running back in the NFL. Adrian was. That seems to be criteria-wise something that means more to the voters than it necessarily does to me.
Yes.
If you were the third best running back in the NFL for 12 years, that means more to me than you were the best for 2.
Okay.
They don't feel that way.
So you're on the Frank Gore bandwagon now?
Frank Gore was never in the top 10.
Yeah. He was. Wasn't he?
Frank Gore was the stat accumulator.
I was
We've been over this.
He was in.
I knew this would come up at some point.
Well, of course it will. Of course it will. Because it has to.
It doesn't have to. We could just chalk it up to Frank Gore's never getting in here either.
I just think it's funny.
Frank Gore had 16,000 yards. He went over 1,000 yards a bajillion times. He played from 2005 to 2020. So he played 16 years. How many touchdowns did he score in 16 years?
Oh, I don't know. 70.
You're too low, but not by much.
Okay.
81. In 16 years. That's 5 a year. Yeah, I'm good.
He's good. Good. Number 3 all time rushing yards. I just feel like that's going to matter.
It's.
I think so.
I don't. If Frank Gore ever hits a semifinal list, I'll be stunned. If he even gets that far,
that might be a blind spot for you.
It's.
I get it on mine, Mike Evans. Frank Gore, he might be a blind spot for you.
It's.
I think the longevity is going to is going to pay off for him.
Okay, let me see if I can put this in some form of.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can put it in a frame for you. Barry Sanders had 15,269 yards on just over 3,000.
Yes.
Frank Gore beats him by roughly 700 yards with 750 more carries and had 18 less touchdowns in 8 more years.
Yes. Did anybody say that he's anywhere close to the level of Barry Sanders?
Okay.
No.
I'll give you one that and straight up, I have a blind spot to him. He made it in pretty quick.
Okay.
Curtis Martin has right at the same number of yards, 250 less rushes, 10 more touchdowns. It took him. Those two to me are not even close.
No, they're not. I've never said that Frank Gore is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Eventually, he'll get to the point where
it's that senior committee.
He's the only one left, right?
It's that senior committee where the one year they're going to have to let in 243 guys to cover for Tank. I've put 800 guys to the senior committee. You got to let them all in. I bet they don't. I bet they don't.
They do not. They don't have to listen to me. You know that. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, living the dream tour on the road at the Hall of Fame festivities up here in Central Ohio. Thanks to Ingalls Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Dale's Pale Ale. Also, Parks Ford Henderson, the provider of the mobile studio. It is completely safe. So don't worry about it. We got it, guys. It's all good. Beautiful ride. The truck.
Oh, yeah.
The truck is fine. It made it through the rain quite nicely last night.
Yeah, I did realize how aggressive the struts and the shocks are. As I went into a parking lot and went, what was that noise? I Googled it. Oh, yeah, that was the truck's way of saying I actually had to do something.
Yeah. It might have a little bit of gopher guts on the tire, but it's all good. We appreciate it. Appreciate the partnership of Clarissa Sells, WNC.com as well. Here supporting the Living the Dream Tour on the road in Ohio, coming to you from the Lake House in Lake Milton. We'll be right back on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Cast on ESPN Asheville.
We have to hit a shower thunderstorm this afternoon through the.
We doing Get Weird News?
But I think a few storms out there widely scattered around. Close to 90 degrees, of course. If you get rain, you'll cool it off. And then tonight, you'll drop into the mid-60s. Chance of showers and thunderstorms early. bit of fog early on Saturday, and then a slight chance of showers early in the afternoon, a few showers, thunderstorms. Temperatures do come down to about 85. Sunday, some isolated storms to widely scattered storms in the afternoon, 85. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik.
This report is sponsored by Gun Owners of America.
This August 17th and 18th, join us at the Knoxville Convention Center for the Second Amendment Summit by Gun Owners of America. See hundreds of the top vendors of firearms and gear. Plus, hear from inspiring speakers like Dana Lash, OAN's Dan Ball, and Chris Salcedo. Don't miss it.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes 100% of odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have unlimited data that never slows you down. Covered by the Verizon 5G network. And for less than $30 a month, we make your phone your ride or die. Switch now and pick a free 5G phone with qualified plan purchase. And your fourth line at no additional cost. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For practices, see TotalWireless.com.
You guys have some weird news for the next segment?
Monkey Park Highway. Join iHeartRadio Asheville, Ingalls, and Eblin Charities from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. We'll be collecting school supplies. All right. Child in Western North Carolina has the tools that they need to succeed. Come by and donate while you're there. You can also register for a chance to win $2,600 in Ingalls gift card.
I already put it in. Is 2 okay?
ORG.
Yeah, I put
on Smoky Park Highway, Tuesday, August 6th, for Tools for Schools.
Do better, be better.
I learned a thing or two.
Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at Parks Ford Hendersonville.
No, he's at a remote. They added a remote today, last minute. Yeah.
Fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dales available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dales salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
30 seconds.
I sell or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
I'm just living the dream.
I'm unapologetic.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy on the Living a Dream Tour. Thanks again to Ryan Perry for agreeing to let us use his new song, Unapologetic, as our official tour theme song. Great song. You definitely check it out. Download it now. Support Ryan Perry. Support local artists.
And go see him tomorrow.
Yes.
At Silverado's for the WNC Country Music Fest.
Yeah, and he'll just tell him you heard it as the theme song, and he'll play it. Absolutely. I don't think he wouldn't play it. It's a hell of a song. I think it's got a future. I'm not the country music guy. I feel like that kid's got a future. Dwight Freeney going into the Hall of Fame this year, along with Julius Peppers. Wanted to talk real quick about the edge rusher position. I mean, it's changed so much, or I guess they're maybe not changed so much. I mean, obviously the guys are faster now than edge rushers used to be in the past and things like that. So the player has changed. The importance of the position, has it changed over the years? Because I feel like it has. I feel like it's more imperative now than ever to have that no doubt ace coming off the edge.
It is. It's another one. It's like wide receiver. I feel like there are a lot of them. I feel like there are a lot of really good pass rushers.
I feel like it's hard. It's hard to go year in and year out and be great at it. How many times do we have guys who pop as the best in the league? Guys like Yannick Ngakoue, right? He hits on the radar, 13 sacks for a year, maybe 2 years, and then just kind of becomes the guy who bounces around, the mercenary kind.
So he's the Frank Gore of pass rushers?
No, not necessarily, because
you're right, because Yannick Ngakoue was actually a top 5 pass rusher at one time.
Oh, stop. Again with it. Yannick Ngakoue. No, I mean, it's if he could get 12 sacks every year for 15 years, then yeah, you'd have an argument.
Yeah, he wouldn't need that much. If he can get to 8 every year, he's in.
But does
God.
What?
I didn't realize he had as many sacks.
Who?
Yannick Ngakoue has 70 sacks.
That's a bunch. That was just a name I threw out. So if I'm wrong on it, you tell me.
For this discussion, he's a good example of. Let me see if I can think of a guy.
I definitely don't want to throw out slander for people who do not deserve it. So
I'll put it this way.
If I'm making that too much of a thing.
Yannick Ngakoue, if he plays till he's 33, statistically, is going to look real similar to Robert Mathis.
Okay.
I'm not saying he was as good, but if you go that statistical to statistical comparison, he's right now Ngakoue's averaging 10 sacks a year.
Well, if
he does that for 5 more years, he is literally Robert Mathis.
Then he's a bad example of what I'm talking about. So I am willing to admit my mistakes when I make them.
And to me, I would say he's the perfect example of the game's getting faster, the points are getting higher, so statistically, it gets hard to justify things like that, because that's Frank Gore's only. That's the reason that I hammer on this so much. It's not that I just want to hammer him every year when we get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame discussion. It's that he's the poster child of what I'm talking about. If stats are what you're after, they're not going to look all that impressive 5 years from now.
Right.
At running back, they will, because the average running back lasts for 15 minutes. Pass rushers? You're going to have a lot of guys in that 80, 90, 100, 110 level 10 years from now.
Let me maybe put this with another analogy. In the baseball world, right? Frank Gore is the Todd Helton of the Pro Football Hall of
Todd Helton
Fame.
was the best player in baseball for 2 years.
He was the best hitter in baseball.
Okay.
Not necessarily the best player.
He was the best
baseball.
at something. Frank Gore never was.
Never was.
I feel like if I was voting in these things, you need to check at least 3 boxes.
Everybody.
Where not everyone, because there's probably 7 of them.
Okay. But I'm saying these are the ones that you have to check.
No, you have to hit 3 of my 7 criteria.
Oh, okay.
And like Todd Helton, he was the MVP of the league. He was the best hitter in baseball. He was really consistent for a long time. That would be 3 of the 7. You get into a lot of guys, and I think we find this when we get James Harrison. Perfect example. To me, he's a Hall of Famer. He should get in eventually. I don't really know how that's ever going to happen. And if it does ever happen, I don't know how long it's going to take. And here's why. How many sacks do you have in his entire career? You feel like James Harrison was an elite pass rusher. Absolutely out of this world. How many sacks do you have?
72.
16 years, he had 84. He has 15 more than Yannick Ngakoue. in 9 more years. Apologies. He played 14 years in Pittsburgh. I forgot he played one in Cincinnati and one in New England.
But how much else did he add to the game other than sacks? How many interceptions did he have? How many
interceptions was 8 in his career.
Yep.
Not much.
For a linebacker, that's a bunch.
In 16 years? Yeah, 8's not really much. That's one every other year. I don't think you're clinging to that. He did force 2 fumbles a year because he forced 33 fumbles. But that's where I'm at is, okay, what did he have? To me, he was the best pass rusher in the league for 3 years. I would love to get you in. You have nothing else.
Right.
You have absolutely nothing else. So statistically, you played long enough to be great. You weren't. Had a lot of injuries. Had a lot of years that he held on too long. If James Harrison had stopped, he came in the league at 24. If he had stopped at 2010, just retired, called it a career with that 10.5 sack, that last 10.5 sack year, or even went a year further than that, it would have shaved 6 years off his career, where grand total he added maybe 20 sacks total. Because you look at this and you think back and you go, basically he did everything he ever did in the league in a 4 year. That's it. That's not good enough. It's not good enough, and I don't think it's ever going to be good enough.
Hell on wheels.
He was out of this world
he was the
for
most
4
feared
years.
guy in the game for that long.
Javon Curse. Havoc said that one in the YouTube chat, and I think that's a great example. He was the best pass rusher in the NFL for a year, maybe 2.
Yep.
He had 74 sacks total.
The freak was incredible.
He's just north of Yannick Ngakoue. Who, the more I think about this, that was the perfect example for you.
Okay. All right.
But now we're to the bottom of the second hour. It means Daily Draft, brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale.
Yep.
Coming up in the next segment. And in this one, you and I become the czars of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're letting in 6 guys apiece. Here are the rules.
Okay.
You have to be able to justify it. You can't let in, I'm trying to think of somebody that you have an unhealthy fixation with. Tony Mayberry. You can't let him in.
Okay.
I would almost go one step further and say we can't let anybody off our own teams, but I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have one, so I don't really need to add that addendum.
I don't really have one right now either. They've taken care of all of my guys. Now that Rondé's gotten in.
Not true. There's one that I can't get him in this, but
right.
I might mention his name.
I think we only have one outstanding Hall of Famer right now, and not eligible for another 4 years.
No, you don't get.
Of course, he won a Super Bowl with us.
Yeah, he played in New England.
Of course, they get the majority of the credit, but we. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, the Living the Dream tour. We are on the road in Central Ohio, coming to you from the Lake House, thanks to Ingalls Markets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, and Clarissa Sells, WBNC.com. The Daily Draft is coming up next.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company.
All right, clear.
Finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're listening to this Gerber Life Guaranteed life insurance ad, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance, I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong and that someday you won't be listening to the radio anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed life insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, call 888-532-5016. Then, when you stop, if you stop listening to the radio, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses or anything else. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab too. For a free personalized quote, call 888-532-5016 today.
Take advantage of Zero Res Carpet Cleaning's Back to School BOGO sale. For a limited time, get 2 rooms cleaned plus 2 additional rooms cleaned for free. Use promo code BOGO when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it.
Allow me to introduce myself. Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
At Ingalls, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Have to hit a shower thunderstorm this afternoon through this evening. Yeah, right in time for your Friday evening plans. But I think a few storms out there widely scattered around. Close to 90 degrees. Of course, if you get rain, you'll cool it off. And then tonight, you'll drop into the mid-60s. Chance of showers and thunderstorms early. Bit of fog early on Saturday. And then a slight chance of showers early in the afternoon. A few showers, thunderstorms. Temperatures do come down to about 85. Sunday, some isolated storms to widely scattered storms in the afternoon, 85. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Gun Owners of America.
This August 17th and 18th, join us at the Knoxville Convention Center for the Second Amendment Summit by Gun Owners of America. See hundreds of the top vendors of firearms and gear. Plus, hear from inspiring speakers like Dana Lash, OAN's Dan Ball, and Chris Salcedo. Don't miss it.
Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation is known for compassionate care for all across its 18 North Carolina locations. Whether your loved one needs short-term rehabilitation or long-term care, our exceptional staff and comprehensive services are here to support their recovery or ongoing needs.
Pain from arthritis is awful. Bone-on-bone constant pain. It robs you of so much of the stuff you love to do. But there are effective ways to deal with that pain, and I'm not talking about drugs or surgery. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. And the place to go? QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can use
Wait, what is it that you got?
your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief with no downtime.
What'd you get from Taco Bell?
Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. This is the future of medicine.
I'll have to try that.
28333-9517.
Yeah, I've had the Cantina burrito. It was pretty amazing.
823-9517.
Yeah.
WPEK W225CJ Fairview.
WMFX Waynesville.
And iHeart.
All right, we about to come back.
Audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. The sport. Time dose of dumbassery, live from the Ingalls studio.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Living the Dream Tour on the road from the Lake House in Central Ohio. Getting ready to take in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this evening after the program. It's going to be pretty cool heading up to Cleveland. First time I've ever been to Cleveland. The only time I've ever really seen Cleveland that's not like in an ESPN LeBron James documentary is from the Drew Carey show. So I'm really interested to see what the city of Cleveland is like. And, of course, checking out all the greatness in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame game last night was a washout after the third quarter. Well, the middle of the third quarter, late third quarter, as the rains moved in Canton and shut down the action at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Chicago Bears beating the Houston Texans. The best part of that experience, other than being in the stadium with so many eclectic football fans. Pretty much every team was represented by someone in the stadium. I think I even saw a Jaguars jersey at one point.
I even saw a couple Jets jerseys.
Cat Daddy, the Carolina Panthers super fan that's got the big Panther mask and the I don't know what to call them, the Predator dreads, the blue, white, black Predator dreads. He was there as well. It was just a really cool scene to see all of that last night at the Hall of Fame game. And then tomorrow will be the enshrinement ceremonies here in the Hall of Fame. We all have an opinion about who needs to be in the Hall of Fame. We love talking about it. We get in, I don't want to say get in fights. Some of us get in fights. Get into arguments in bars and defending our favorite players and who needs to get the recognition that they haven't gotten to this point. So today's daily draft, brought to you by our good friends, Dale's Pale Ale. Who'd you put in? Who is on your next in line list for the Hall of Fame? So Jeremy has already said you have to be able to make a case for the person. You have to be able to defend it soundly. You can't just put in, as he used, Tony Mayberry, just because he was the best player on the early 1990s Tampa Bay Buccaneers and was, he was an all-pro center at one point, but he's not on the Hall of Fame radar. So that was one of the stipulations. What else was the stipulation? Are we sticking with nobody else from your team being on your list?
Well, I don't really have a Jet, so that would only be if you've got some Homer Buccaneer I'm not thinking of.
And then was there another qualification here?
They have to be eligible.
Well, they have to be for the Pro. Okay. Have to be eligible. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to take Torrey Holt. I said it earlier in the program. He has now moved to the number one spot on my list of guys that need to go into the Hall of Fame. He's been up in the top 5 for probably 6-7 years, at least on the guys that carry over ballot to ballot. That's the big problem. New guys come in, he gets taken out. But I get that he wasn't the only guy, right? He had Isaac Bruce next to him that maybe took some of the shine off of him. But
he was also on an outrageously good.
Marshall Faulk, a part of those teams as well, and of course Kurt Warner, the quarterback of the greatest show on turf. He's got a Super Bowl to his credit. I feel like he's got all of the. He's got all the boxes checked. It's just
there's only one box. There's only one box he really didn't.
Which one was that?
11 years. He only had 7.
Again, that
he only broke 10. And by broke 10, I mean more than 10. He only did that once.
I would love to know how many of those were 20-plus yards. Because once you got in close, right, the bigger target there was Isaac, wasn't he?
I don't know that he was.
But I mean, like, wasn't he more of the? He was more of the possession guy, the possession receiver.
Yeah,
Torrey was the field stretcher, and so I'd be interested to know.
No, they're the same size.
How many of those 20-plus yard, or how many of those touchdowns were long touchdowns? Because when they got in close, they went more to a tight end, or they handed it to Marshall, or it was Isaac on the slant route.
Isaac Bruce only weighed 80.
Bigger than. So Torrey is my one.
My biggest argument for Torrey Holt would be if you let in Isaac Bruce, I feel like you have to let in Torrey Holt.
Yes.
Because Torrey Holt beats him in literally everything.
I never thought he would.
I didn't either. I always thought Torrey Holt was the better of them.
Yeah, it was always Torrey Holt was the one, Isaac Bruce was the two. To me.
Okay, you left the most obvious omission for me, so I will take Antonio Gates at one. The fact he didn't get in this year, to me, is borderline a crime. If you give me a list of the 4 best tight ends of all time and you don't have Antonio Gates on it,
right,
it completely invalidates it for me before you even get started. He was that good. Now, could he block? No. He couldn't block really to save his life, to be honest with you. That's not what he was asked to do. He played in a higher flying offense. And he was so unbelievably good at that. Second leading tight end receiver of all time. Do you know who he's behind?
Tony Gonzalez.
In terms of yards?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, third. Sorry. Tony's so far up there that you I knew I was missing one. I just couldn't quite put my finger on who it was.
Okay.
Do you know who's two? Jason Witten. Jason Witten.
That makes sense. That was another
13,000 yards. Yeah. Travis Kelce should pass Antonio Gates. But, I mean, you just look at a guy that had 116 touchdowns. Almost 12,000 yards receiving. Almost 900, almost 1,000 receptions. 955 receptions in his career. I'm dumbfounded that he didn't get it on the first shot. I don't know whose spot he should have taken this year. I mean, I have an answer, but you're not going to like it.
No, come on. Give it to me.
It's Devin Hester. It's Devin Hester. And to me, I get it. He's the best kick returner of all time.
Right.
That means he gets in on the third try? Okay. All right. Oh, I don't agree with you at all. But not when there's I have no issue with Devin Hester going in the Hall of Fame. I have an issue with him going in over Antonio.
Okay.
Because I feel like Gates was good enough that we should talk about him in that Calvin Johnson realm of he went in on the first. And you only get one chance.
Yep. So. And they missed it.
They missed it. I mean, am I jumping up and down about it? No. Do I like it? Also. Okay. Now I have to play the game of keeping guys away from more so than I'm trying to build the best 6-man team. I know you won't take the one I want to take here, so I'm going to take a guy that I think you actually. I'm going to go Reggie Wayne with my second. I'm going to go Reggie Wayne. Well, and the problem with Reggie, I feel like Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt have the same problem, is that they had a running mate, and that makes people feel like they weren't as electric as they were.
Yeah, because you're not the star, or it's a 1A 1B kind of a situation. I would say that St. Louis, Annapolis, Harrison. More of a distinct 1 versus 2. But to me, Reggie could have been a 1 anywhere.
Anywhere except underneath Marvin Harrison.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, but it's like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins kind of. You've got guys that can be 1s anywhere. They just happen to be on the same team for a long time. Won a lot of games doing it. That's why they keep them together.
Well, I mean, and the problem is that you had Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison that came in so close to each other. I mean, Marvin was drafted, 96? He was drafted in 96. Reggie Wayne came in 01. Then Marvin played until 2008. And so you use that 1A, 1B thing. I mean, Reggie Wayne had 3 1,250-yard plus seasons after Marvin Harrison moved on.
Yep.
And then by the time he was in his 30s by the time he really got the crack to be the 1, and he was still fantastic. So for me, that's the one that I look at. And yeah, I get it. It's receiver. He doesn't get the notoriety as a true 1, but he was. He was. Bill Polian just did that good a job of putting that team together.
Okay. Antonio Gates, Reggie Wayne.
I feel pretty good about how I've started.
You've started well. You've taken obviously 2 away from me that I would have taken. A great start.
Just go ahead and take Tiki Barber.
I bet he does. This is all. Really? I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go that deep.
Unless you're going to some older school cats, based on what you said earlier about Tiki, I'll be stunned.
And they have to be eligible right now.
Yes.
I'm kicking it back.
God, I threw you that far off by taking Reggie Wayne.
Do what?
Did you just not think I was going to do it?
I don't know.
I'm dismissive of wide receivers, so you just thought I wouldn't take one?
Probably. Because of I'm going Roger Craig. To me, he was 1980s. He was the guy in the backfield for the San Francisco 49ers. He was an all-pro, player of the year. Had a hell of a career. Obviously, there were Super Bowls and Pro Bowls and all of that. To me, Roger Craig's been one that's been waiting.
You literally took a guy that if we had gone 20 rounds, I would never have gotten. You want me to tell you why? Because I can do that.
Please.
How long did his peak last?
Oh.
Because you said he was
5
the
years.
guy. That's a weird way to say a year.
That's
he
it.
had a 1,500-yard season. He broke 1,000 yards 2 other times, and he did it by combined about the length of the house we're sitting. He was Offensive Player of the Year in '88. He made 3 Pro Bowls outside of that.
Yep.
To me, that's not even in the ballpark. I'll go a step further. I'd let in Frank Gore over Roger Craig.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong about that. That is the first true thing that you have said about Frank Gore.
Oh no, for me, neither one of them. There's a better chance of them letting in Yosemite Sam than either one of them to me.
I do not get the hatred.
He had 8,000 yards in 11 years. That's not a Hall of Fame career. I mean, he was a fullback. He's not even and the sad thing is, he's not even the best fullback. I could give you off the top of my head, I could think of 3 that I would put in ahead of him. For that, they just never got the crack at being the lead back.
Integral part of those San Francisco teams with Joe Montana leading the way. That's blasphemy. The numbers aren't going to be there because that was not a run it down your throat kind of a team. Special, definitely to me, and I'm surprised he's one of those that has not. And then I'm gonna have to go with Darren.
I can't tell you that I would have never taken him. I can just tell you,
just weren't getting there.
It would not have been in the upcoming. I like Darren Woodson. I 100% feel like you left me a safety that's better than him that I will happily take with one of my next 2 picks after the upcoming.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Back, living the dream tour.
In this week's Marketers Report, Dana, Executive Vice President, Worldwide Marketing at Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on regional audio marketing and the movies.
Everything that we are doing is incredibly data-driven. We are getting signals in every single day about how specific audiences are performing. So although we're marketing at a very broad scale, and that does include specific local markets, that's really the beauty of iHeart's network. You're not serving the same message to a consumer in Nashville necessarily that you may be in New York. You have the ability to be very specific and very personalized, but at a tremendous scale.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local, every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Take advantage of Zero Res Carpet Cleaning's Back to School BOGO sale. For a limited time, get 2 rooms cleaned plus 2 additional rooms cleaned for free. Use promo code BOGO when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
We need your help to protect your right to AM radio in your car. AM is always there in times of need with the key information for our community. The overwhelming majority of legislators support a bill to keep AM radio in cars, but time's running out. Please text the 2 letters AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month. Text stop to stop. A message from the station.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Ford Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to
Back after this one in 20 seconds.
Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
Back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Tank got to hear the first of what Mullet Manor sounds like from time to time. Come again for Judd Fudd? What just happened there?
That return was blipping in my ear. I was like, "What? That's the remix version. That's awesome." Ryan Perry might need to pick that up. No, it did not sound better.
No, it sounds much better through your radio box.
Absolutely. Unapologetic, the name of the tune from our good friend Ryan Perry, Asheville native, and his new single. You can check it out on all of Spotify's and such.
Just plug it into your Spotify, listen to the playlist. It's all good.
Yep.
We listen to it halfway up there. So.
He will be at Silverado's tomorrow night, headlining the WNC Country
It's all
Festival?
day. Yep. Starts at, it's either 2 or 4. I can't remember.
Okay, so it starts at 2, but he's headlining, so he'll be at.
Yes, he will be at 9:30, I believe.
There you go. So you can catch him at Silverado's tomorrow. The new single, Unapologetic, the official theme of the Sportsocracy, Living the Dream Tour. Here with our good friends at Ingles Supermarkets, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, and Dale's Pale Ale, and Clarissa Sells, WNC.com, our fine sponsors, bringing us closer to the action so we can bring you closer to the action. We are coming to you live from the Lake House here in Lake Milton. Daily draft today. Who are the guys that are still hanging around out there that are eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that if they said, hey, you can put 6 guys in today, who's that list going to be? Daily draft here. I have started out Torrey Holt, Roger Craig, Darren Woodson. Jeremy started with Antonio Gates, Reggie Wayne, and now he's got 2 more selections in the daily draft, brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale.
And I feel like I've already won.
You always.
Oh, well, not always like this. I'm looking at this one going, okay, I can take my next 2, and then my last 2 could be, I don't know, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and I still won.
Uh-huh.
The first one, you just took safety.
Yes.
I'm going to take the better safety, Rodney Harrison. If you ever want to know exactly how good a defensive player was, find a fan of an opposite, a rival, an opposing team. I despised Rodney Harrison with the Chargers and with the Patriots. He was so good at practically everything. Now, in terms of what's getting him at this point, I feel like is statistical based things, because he only had 34 interceptions his entire career in 15 years. But if you go back and just watch the tape, I mean, it's so obvious.
He was terrifying for a long time. And D-backs can get ignored. And he's one that you could.
Well, and it's defensive backs that don't necessarily put up the stats.
Right.
Because he was a great blitzer. But he wasn't usually the one that actually finished it off, because he played with Junior Seau, and then he played in those fantastic New England defenses. And so he wasn't necessarily the one that ended plays. A lot of times he was the guy that funneled it in. In our chat, somebody said something about we should do a Havoc said we should do a draft of players whose chances for the Hall of Fame were ruined by coaches in the wrong system.
Oh, that's
and he said Javon Curse would be really high on that.
Oh yeah,
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Hey, let's ask the best pass rusher in the NFL cover.
It's not going to work out the way you want it to. Rodney Harrison. So I pulled up the Hall of Fame monitor to see where he falls in. I'm shocked. Hall of Fame monitor. Apparently, he is down on a list behind Sam Madison, Eric Berry, Eugene Robinson, Troy Vincent, Lawyer Malloy. Those are all guys listed ahead of Rodney Harrison on this Hall of Fame monitor, and this may be the one section that breaks it. Like the whole PFF has Tony Pollard as number 1 in the NFL. Like, okay, now you're being stupid.
Uh-huh.
He does not have, I guess it's the longevity and reception stats.
He has the longevity. He played 15 years in the
NFL.
And he was, for 14 of those years, he was as good as the day he came into the league.
But he doesn't, I mean, he played 10 years, and maybe that's the.
Who are you talking about? Played 10 years.
Rodney Harrison.
Rodney Harrison played 15 years. I've now said this for the third time. He played 9 years in San Diego. He played 6 years with the New England Patriots. He played from 1994 until 2008.
My math was bad. On now. Anyway, I don't know what the excuse.
I don't either.
I don't know.
He does not have the sacks and the interceptions. That's it.
Yes.
I mean, he had 30 of both.
He only had 6 sacks in 1 year.
Yep, and never had more than 4 in.
Pretty good for a safety. Like, that's close to record for safety. Doesn't Jamal have the record at 9 for safety?
9.5.
Okay, Rodney Harrison.
Now I will go the anti-Frank Gore of this is a guy that he had a few off years because there were injuries. But if you just take the 7 years of greatness, and one of them was his rookie, Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor needs to be a Pro Football Hall of Fame. And look, I'm a Florida State guy, and I'm saying this about a Gator. So he was a special running back. His was not – he would have had a run that would have been 10 consecutive years of going over 1,150 yards if injuries hadn't caught up. And even with the injuries, he still had 2 really good years on the backside. He just hung on too long, and he had those 2 years in New England that were awful. And I honestly feel like if he had never gone to New England, he'd already be in. Because that's the last thing we saw, and people can't get past that because by that time he was 34 years old. And so he didn't look elite at the end, and it gets stuck in your head. And I think that's how he's been a finalist like 5 times.
Right.
I actually think will get in the next few years.
My next selection, I am going to go with a guy that I said I was shocked that he had not gotten in just yet. He's only been on the ballot for a few years, Jared Allen. To me, Jared Allen was a game changer when he was in the league. 4-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, 136 sacks on his career. Had a 22-sack year. Averaged 15 sacks for 7 years in the NFL, the early 2000s.
He's another one that hung on. After the Minnesota ride, it should have just been, hey, and I'm
just
gone.
Done.
He should have done the Tiki Barber thing of, hey, I had a great year. I can't do it again, so I should just go home now.
Yeah. No, he went to Chicago and played some in Carolina.
Yeah. He was traded to Carolina, I think they traded. He wasn't particularly good at that point.
No. I mean,
he did have from 2007 to 2013, that's a pretty sizable. He was practically as good as we had pass rusher. I can't hate on that one. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. There are a lot of guys that get down the rabbit hole. Robert Mathis. You let him in before you let Jared Allen in, you're going to have to explain that to me in really deep detail.
Yes.
Because it doesn't make a lick of sense.
Jared Allen is one that, like I said, I'm surprised that he hadn't got in yet. A little bit. Again, the backlog. He's another one. The backlog just doesn't help him. It's hard to say that he would deserve to be in over anybody that's going in.
This year, no, I could easily. Look, I think next year you've got 3 no-doubters. And then I think you're going to have 2 spots probably that go between Reggie Wayne, Fred Taylor, Jared Allen, and another guy that I haven't said yet. You haven't said yet, but I will say if
Oh, is it my?
It's still your
still
pick.
my turn. Oh yeah, that's right.
Math has not been your friend today.
No, I don't math. I don't math well. I apologize. It's part of that same thing that I struggle with. When playing college football 20.
Oh, I have the ball.
Forget which team.
Oh, I have the ball. That's.
Oh, wait a minute! I just called your decent defensive play, even though I just got a first down.
It was weird. I hit X and nothing happened, but I still called that play.
My brain blanked out, and I thought I was picking on.
I'm gonna pet that dog.
Do that a lot. The last one here, Steve Smith. Steve Smith Sr. I don't want that to...
You just made my 2 picks real easy because I had 3 guys and you took one of them.
Well, good. I'm glad. Steve Smith is a dude. He is a dog. And
he was good at everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And fiery competitor. He's a great teammate unless you crossed him, and then he would absolutely put you in your place and let you know all the reason that he went to Baltimore. Because that was Cam Newton's team. But Steve Smith, he is definitely Mount Rushmore of the Carolina Panthers. And I guess I had forgotten earlier when I said you have Julius this year, you have Luke next year, and then you might wait for a while. You're not going to have to wait that long. You'll get Steve Smith thrown in here in the next 5-6 years.
I don't know. Receivers, I don't even try to figure it out anymore.
Yeah.
I know he's no better than third in the queue. Because if Reggie, he's one of those, like I said about Robert Mathis. You can't put him in before you put in Torrey Holt. You can't put him in before you put in Reggie Wayne.
Precisely.
I think they all deserve to be in.
Yes.
But they have to go in.
Well, we've done it in the right order here. I had Torrey Holt at 1. You had Reggie Wayne at your second pick, and now we're down to the 5th pick. I'm taking Steve Smith Sr. because the only other wide receiver I think right now that you can make the argument with him would be Hines Ward. And to me, coming from a Georgia guy, Steve Smith destroys Hines in that scenario.
I would agree. He's not even in the ballpark. Not by comparison.
Exactly. So,
well, you made my last 2 picks super easy because I didn't want to take these 2 together, but now you have forced my hand because I didn't really want to take 2 offensive linemen. Jari Evans would be my first one. I don't understand how the best guard in the league for 8 years is not in the Pro Football. I get that you played a really you played a non-sexy position and you played on a team that didn't necessarily ground and pound the ball out. That does not change the fact that you were as good as we had in the NFL. And the other one I'm going to take, didn't want to take 2 linemen, but we are. Willie Anderson from the Cincinnati. He was the best tackle on a really god-awful team, and I feel like that's been held way too much against him. And you said that the Rodney Harrison thing was what broke that little Hall of Fame tracker thing for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Willie Anderson's what broke it.
Okay. Well, I didn't even look at him.
Willie Anderson is 61.
It's like in 60.
No, that puts him behind Ricky Waters.
Oh, in his
score is 61, which puts him behind Ricky Waters, which is, we often say something's the funniest thing you've ever heard or the stupidest thing you've ever heard. That is the stupidest thing you will hear today.
Huh. Linemen just get crapped on so much. And
linemen scores are different. I understand that's not an apples to apples comparison. I'm well aware of all of them.
I'm looking at just the tackle Hall of Fame scores by them. Andrew Whitworth. That feels you got a Super Bowl. That's the only thing.
Andrew Whitworth's been in the league or was in the league for 4 gajillion.
Right, but is he better? Better than Willie Anderson? Or is it just because he's got the Super Bowl?
I don't think Andrew Whitworth's getting in is in question. It's just a question how long does it take?
Precisely.
Willie Anderson's been doing this since he retired in 7? I think that's right. I know it was somewhere in that
08.
08. So he's been doing this for over a decade. He was a finalist this year. And it's just, to me, that's dumb. He should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I am perfectly happy with those 6, even if you did take Steve Smith from me. I didn't think you were going to do it, so I took Fred Taylor first, thinking that you might.
Okay. And that leaves me with 1. Got to make 1 more.
1 more selection.
Well, you know what? I do all the things you told me not to, because that's what I do. I don't listen.
But you can't take Frank Gore because he's not eligible.
No, because as I thought about it, I found another. I found another one that fits into that unheralded player, favorite player on your own team. But I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame because I think he broke the position.
Oh, boy.
Who is it?
I have no idea.
It's Mike Allstott, the A-Train. He was one of the most physical fullbacks of all time. And I get that he's a fullback, and I don't like putting in fullbacks. But still, just like Roger Craig, who I took earlier, he doesn't have the rushing stats maybe, but all the things taken into account, he was one of the best in the game doing it. I'm feeling it in. I mean, I already lost it section.
No doubt.
So, Mike Allstott.
No
Pro
doubt.
Football Hall of Fame.
I can't get there. Even.
Ever? Really? To make him die before you realize that he was a great player in the league.
I didn't say he wasn't a great player.
Legendary player in
Legendary player in this league.
Oh, here's another one that'll break your brain. Hall of Fame monitor. The score for Mike Allstott, 42.85.
Yeah, that would. He's right there with.
It put him right above Floyd Little, who is in the Hall of Fame. He would be the second lowest rated player, according to this.
Well, I mean, Floyd Little played in 1967. So.
Shoot, yeah.
By comparison,
75.
This little thing that he's been using for 2 days has Mike Allstott just a skosh ahead of Herschel Walker, CJ 4H, Ricky Williams, Eric Metcalf. Good Lord, it has Derrick Henry this low.
He's 0.3 of a point behind Christian McCaffrey.
And Christian McCaffrey should be hurt.
Should be.
He's behind Amon Green.
Who?
Allstott.
Mike Allstott.
And Ernest Biner.
It's all fine.
Yeah, I knew I should have put that preface of "you cannot take a Buccaneer."
Nope.
Because I should have known he was going to find one. And he did.
I did. He's the last one from that group that I want in.
I'm going to eat that. I'm going to eat that dub because I won this. I don't even need y'all to vote on it. I just know.
He just knows. That's the way. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 live on the road. The Living the Dream Tour brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, Clarissa Sells, WNC. We'll be right back from the Lake House.
This is your Exergen Temple cast on ESPN Asheville.
We doing Bad Boys this evening? Yeah, right in time for your Friday evening plans. But I think if widely scattered degrees, of course, if you get rain, you'll cool it off. And then tonight you'll drop into the mid-60s. Chance of showers and thunderstorms early. Bit of fog early on Saturday, and then a slight chance of showers early in the afternoon. A few showers, thunderstorms. Temperatures do come down to about 85. Sunday, some isolated storms to widely scattered storms in the afternoon, 85. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stijic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
iHeartRadio Olympics Update.
The International Olympic Committee is pushing back on gender theories about Algerian boxer Amani Khalif.
Scientifically, this is not a man fighting a woman, and I think we need to kind of get that out.
Hungary is protesting Khalif's quarterfinal bout with its boxer, but says the fight will go on tomorrow. On the fields of Olympic play today, the U.S. men's soccer team was eliminated by Morocco in the quarterfinals.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
Win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One. September 20th and 21st. T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, streaming live only on Hulu.
Starting Monday, listen for your chance to be there.
Summer is the time to let loose, turn up the tunes, and share sweet moments together. And M&M's are the perfect treat for any time. Chilling by the pool, jamming at the barbecue, road trip sing-alongs, and everywhere in between. So grab a pack from your local retailer and pass them around today.
If you're a medical professional, business owner, higher income, or self-employed, a new federal rule means now through August 31st is the last chance for people that don't get tax credit subsidies for lower premiums to lock in real health insurance at lower rates for up to 3 years. If you have marketplace, work, or healthcare ministry insurance, I'm talking to you. Hummingbird Insurance is offering free consults for quotes. There's no catch or strings. Get the free quote and decide. Hummingbird Insurance.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Sometimes it's the little victories that mean...
Back in 10.
We know there's no one you'd rather share those miniature memorable moments with than family. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Ain't no truth. Down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
You just gotta keep living, man. LIVIN.
I'm on a
And the Livin' the Dream Tour continues here in Central Ohio.
All right. LIVIN.
Live from the Lake House here in Lake Milton, Ohio, as we are continuing the festivities here. Last night's Hall of Fame game, again, it was a bit of a washout. Obviously, it was a technical washout because they ended the game in the third quarter. Got to see some cool things. We'll be heading off to Cleveland here shortly to go check out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tonight, then back down to Canton tomorrow for the enshrinement. We'll actually go into the Hall of Fame and get to see all the busts and all of the things. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And you can follow along on with us on all the social media and such. We continue the tour. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was the first place you're going to go. The guy actually we were sitting with, or one of the guys that we were sitting with last night at the game.
He told you how to do the Hall of Fame?
He said what we need to do is, like, when you go in and you do like the guided tour, they start you on the first floor and then you go all the way up to the sixth floor.
Yeah, I don't need to do a guided tour.
He said work your way back down. He said start at the sixth floor and then go all the way down, because what ends up happening, or I guess what ended up happening to them, was they got down on the first floor. There's so much to see on the first floor that they had spent 4 hours on the bottom floor, and by that time it's like, we got to go get something to eat, we got to go get to the game, and so they didn't get to everything that they wanted to.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the by level. All right, so level 6 is Bon Jovi Forever.
Okay, we can skip that.
Oh, well, no, we need to go in there. We need to live on a prayer, and then once that prayer's done, we go amen and go downstairs. Level 5 is the floor that I'm looking forward to, because it has Legends of Rock, but it also has Rapper's Delight. So Rapper's Delight is where you may lose Jeremy for an extended period of time, because there's exhibits about Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G., but this is what I teased earlier of you did this wrong, and it makes me angry. Okay. Because on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame website, it goes in this order: Public Enemy, NWA, Run DMC, Tupac Shakur, Notorious B.I.G., Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five, and the Beastie Boys. And if that is evolution, the next what we missed here was Tinky and Winky and Poe from the Teletubbies, because you went awesome, unmitigated crap. Just the fact you put Beastie Boys on the same floor as every other name I just said, it makes me angry.
What's the name of this place?
In the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
The what?
What? You made the exhibit. You put in a Rapper's Delight and threw in the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, because they're the only ones that you just said that fit the category of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but you're going too literal there. There exists.
No, I get it. There's everything they do country. I get everybody is
the Beastie Boys should not be in this exhibit, period. That would be like having a pornography Hall of Fame and throwing Paris Hilton in the backside. Like, I mean, I guess technically you're not wrong, but no. That's also the floor with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. So while I go enjoy the Rapper's
100%.
Delight, you can go do that pretentious crap.
Yeah, while you go listen to or look at that stuff that I have no desire to care about.
Really?
No, like Dr. Dre. Okay, cool. Ice Cube, he's got one. Yeah, I'm in. All right. The rest of it, Notorious B.I.G. Never was a fan. I was a West Coast guy. I like Tupac. I like Dr. Dre.
I said Tupac.
I get it. I really wasn't. He was like my third. Dre and Cube. To me, it's Cube 1. Dre 2.
I didn't think you would beat Baja Blast is overrated.
Yeah.
In terms of just, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. And now,
yeah, I'm sorry.
And you did this to yourself. Now there's blood in your headphones because it came out of my ear and it's now pooling in your headphones. So, good for you.
Sorry. I always, most of my life I lived by the Jeff Jarrett philosophy. Rap is crap. And there are few exceptions to that. The really good ones, they're all in the Hall of Fame.
Well, we're
Beastie Boys, Eminem.
Level 4, we can literally split in half. I'll go to the good side, which is Prince.
Yes.
And you can go to the pothead side, which is Pink Floyd. I'm good. Well, I mean, that didn't make up for what you just said, but it didn't hurt.
Prince is incredible. Prince is one of those that he was cool, he was pop culture, but he was raw. I mean, he was a dog on that guitar. Great musician who just happened to be really popular and could sing and had all of the sex appeal of of a young Michael Jackson. Saying sex appeal of Michael Jackson, especially in the later years.
At Sports Tank ESPN.
We know who the target audience was for that, and I'm not appreciative of it.
I double down on what I just said. The comments of Mr. Spencer do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Sportsocracy on the whole.
Prince was incredible, and I hope that they have the guitar from the Super Bowl. That'd be a cool thing to be able to add into all of our coverage here and our photo galleries and TikToks and Reels and all the things that are going to be coming your way as we sift through all of the digital stockpile of things that we have been collecting.
I'll put it this way. In the time we had before this show, before we had to go into actually, preparing for this show, I had enough time to shower and cut 9 pictures. No video. I had no video done, any of that. So you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks coming out from this trip. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will probably get 1 whole week. Pro Football Hall of Fame will probably get 1 whole week. The inductees will probably get a week. This has been, this is our sign off for radio before we come back. We'll be back in Asheville Monday. For me, this has been everything I thought it would be. Yes, it is kind of a pain to have this in Canton, Ohio, which is a city that for 51 weeks out of the year has nowhere near the number of people or events like this. But I get it. I mean, I had to get away from the events of yesterday because it is weird to go into a place and you have to shuttle into the stadium. That's just not something I was prepared for. But you really sense being here that Canton, this is the personality of who they are. The township of Canton, Ohio, their mantra is that we are the home of pro football, and this is where it started, and this is where we preserve all of the great things about it. The museum tomorrow will be, I am very excited. I am hopeful that it lives up. I believe that it will. And, for me, this has been a great start to this tour. We've really sharpened the sword, gotten back into we're going to sleep 4 hours a night. The other trips I've taken this offseason, Yeah, I wasn't prepared because I went from I didn't put on pants for 3 weeks to full on tour stop mode, and I wasn't ready. So I'm very glad we started here, and look forward to seeing all these guys getting inducted tomorrow.
Most definitely. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, you want to follow us on all of the social medias for the coverage of this. Don't forget to go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can, be in on the alerts whenever we do go live. There will be the plans for a fireside chat again this evening. Or I guess.
Well, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame closes at 8. So,
right. So
there's no rain delays. There's no rain outs. There's no any of that. We just have to get the truck out of Cleveland.
Yes.
And I have to try to get Tank away from Beatles. Look, the Rolling Stones were awesome.
Later tonight, we'll be back on the YouTubes, probably playing some college football 25, just kind of talking about the Hall of Fame and how Jeremy pissed me off at every, important.
We will do an
exhibit that I'd stopped at.
We will do an uncensored about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That's got to happen. Even if it's 10:30 tonight,
Sure.
It's got to happen.
Absolutely. We'll be on tonight, so be sure to watch out for that on the YouTubes, thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link in the middle of the page. It'll take you through to the YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. And that way you can stay as close to the action as we can bring you on the Livin' the Dream Tour with Ingles Supermarkets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, and Clarissa Sells, WNC.com. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Again, tomorrow is going to be the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. We've got, baseball continuing. It's getting a little hot and heavy as we get toward the end of the season here. And also the Olympics. This is the middle mark. The middle mark of the Olympics, and
means it's halfway over.
Got one more week to go. After all of this, the U.S. continuing to rack up all those gold medals. But, of course, we'll keep you up to date on all the football happenings here in Ohio from the road on the Livin' the Dream Tour. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
If you snore or you have been diagnosed with sleep,
all right, clear.
Thanks, sir.
At night, and we all need a good night's sleep. A custom oral sleep appliance is perfect for people who can't use a CPAP for their obstructive sleep apnea. And if you have that prescription for an oral appliance from your physician, you can take it to Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry, and they will do the rest. If you've not yet been diagnosed with sleep apnea, and maybe
all right, that seemed timed out pretty good.
Out with a free sleep apnea screening. Find out more online at AshevilleSmiles.com. World-class dental care with a hometown feel.
Hey there. Gerber Life would like to talk to you about the importance of guaranteed life insurance for when you...
No, thank you.
I get it. Nobody likes to think about life insurance because it means having to think about the end of... So, wait. If you're 50 plus or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. Guaranteed acceptance means you don't need a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, just call 888-532-5016. Then, when that thing you don't want to think about does eventually happen, and you know it will,
I'm not listening.
Your family can use the insurance money to help cover the cost of your final expenses, or anything else. Now that's worth thinking about. Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance. For a free quote, call 888-532-5016 today.
Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570, and I've been going to Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt for years. They're fantastic, but you don't have to take my word for it.